Alive. Welcome everyone to the 58th Playtest This, and we are bringing back alumnus TK King with Galactic Cruise. But do not forget about Dennis Northcutt, right? He's been added to the crew, and Colton
He's
Thompson.
he's he's a part of it. Yeah,
And we have seen, gosh, I mean, if you're a dedicated follower, you have seen this game on here, I think, two other times.
I think so.
That
Yep.
sounds right. And I personally have played this game significantly more than that. And Sasha and Trevor will be seeing it for the first time. But before we get into that, let's say hi, everybody. TK, why don't you tell everybody about yourself?
Sure. Yeah. So I am TK King. I live in Tennessee in the U.S. and my background is in music. I did that for a while, working with bands, recording, kind of in the production side. When the pandemic hit, Colton and I started working on more games. We'd always been designing them growing up. That was kind of our first attempt at putting something out. So we did a small card game on Kickstarter, and that was like our first taste. And we were like, man, we really want to pursue this. And so we got a lot of games up online, finally landed on Galactic Cruise, and then have kind of been pursuing it for the last 2.5 years. And so it kind of sits in the wheelhouse of my style of game. I love heavy games, really thinky games. I'm a huge Lacerda fan. Love Shim and Sam stuff with the West Kingdom, South Tiger stuff. So yeah,
Cool, awesome. Glad to have you back on.
yeah,
And at some point, I want to see your circus game again. Okay, Sasha, tell
can
tell
do.
people about yourself.
Probably the same
Uh,
though.
my name is Sasha. I'm a designer in Portland. Um, I actually have a little bit of a background in music. Now I just do audio post production work
Nice.
mainly. But yeah, I teach board game design and electronic music production to middle schoolers, and I just love playing games and designing games and talking shop. So that's me.
Trevor.
Hey, I'm Trevor Olson, and I'm a designer as well. Um, Nurse by day, nurse by night sometimes. Um, but yeah, most of my free time is with uh, uh, with games. Mostly not playing them anymore. Mostly just thinking about how to make
Yep.
them.
um, sorry, my brain started playing Nurse by Night away from here. Yeah. Okay, I am Evan Halbert. You can go buy my board game After the Empire right now. And then the next couple of years, we've got an expansion coming out, and I've got a game with 25th Century called Wildwood. At least that's the current title coming out, and then several other games that should be coming out in the next 2, 3, or 4 years. So keep your eyes out for that and spend all of your money on the games that I make, as well as, of course, the other designers here buy all their games too. Because within 2 to 4 years, they should also all have games out on the market.
Totally.
Fingers crossed.
Um, I also like music. Okay, so and I don't know if anybody has ever checked out TK's like little videos that he puts up. Dude, dude can sing, man. Dude's a good musician. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Every single time I pull one up, I'm like, dang, I forgot how good you were. You play piano a lot too. Anyway, okay.
We'll
Let's
talk about it. We'll talk about it later.
let's get into the teach. Go ahead and take it away.
Yeah. So our plan tonight is I'm going to do kind of an abbreviated teach. So we'll try to get you playing pretty quick, but I'll go over kind of the general concepts, what you're trying to do, score points, thematically, what all that means. So that'll be about 20 minutes, and then we'll play for about an hour and a half or so, find a good stopping point, and then leave time for some feedback. So I don't want to keep you all too long because it is a heavy game, so we definitely don't want to try to play the whole thing. Um, but the game is called Galactic Cruise, and thematically, it's one of the first companies to offer extended stay space flights, basically taking cruises into outer space. And so you as the players work as supervisors of this same company to help build and launch shuttles to send guests to different destinations. And so it is a competitive game, but because you work for the same company, there's a lot of positive player interaction. So a lot of what you do will set up other players to do something on their turn. which creates a lot of interesting decisions throughout the game and kind of some ever expanding and growing actions and networks that you'll see. And so what we'll do is we'll start at a player board. I'll kind of go over the turn structure, your basic resources, what you're trying to do, which is, of course, build shuttles and launch shuttles. And then we'll kind of hit the actions quickly and then get started. So which player board would you like to zoom into, Evan?
Yellow. Yellow, yeah.
All right. Cool. All right, so this is your player board. It's a worker placement game, and so you start with 2 workers on your player board in what we call the break room. You can kind of see this coffee cup house-looking icon. That is the icon for break room. You can also hire 2 other workers. They're called experts. They have coats on them. Those you can get throughout the game. So those are your workers. You do have some resources on your player board. You've got food, oxygen, and fuel. Everybody starts with 1 of each of those, and as you gain or spend them, you move your token up and down. At the moment, you can only hold a max of 2 of each resource. You're blocked by these tokens here, which are called developments. They'll get built onto the main board throughout the game, and of course, when you remove them, you'll be able to hold more of that specific resource. Now, you do have some resources off your player board. You've got money, which are these kind of credit card looking tokens. And then you have ads. These are advertisements which are used to kind of convince passengers or guests to do different things. So those are your main resources in the game that you'll be gaining and spending. You also have to the left of your player board a shuttle. So we'll look at it real quick. I'll kind of go over a makeup of it. So everybody starts with a cockpit and an engine tile. And throughout the game, you can have up to 3 shuttles. So in the top left of your player board, it tells you that you can have up to 3 shuttles. And each shuttle can have up to 3 segments. And so what a segment looks like is throughout the game, you'll be drawing these tiles here. These are called blueprints when you draw them. They actually hang out on the right side of your player board. You've got 5 spaces to hold up to 5 blueprints at a time. And whenever you build them, you'll pay the cost that's listed on them, flip them over, and they become built segments in your shuttle. And so throughout the game, you're going to be building these shuttles. And the reason that you want to build it, of course, is to launch it, to send guests to different destinations. And so I'm going to kind of jump ahead a little bit to kind of show you what the end product looks like. And then we'll go back and you can kind of see the few steps it takes to get to that end product. And so we have these tiles in the game that are called cruise tiles. And these dictate where you're going on your journey. Let me find a couple of examples. So here are all the different icons you'll see in the game. You've got a day in space, which is the kind of star icon that represents just kind of like a travel day, kind of like a day at sea. And then you have 3 different destinations. So there's adventurous, relaxing, and family. And there are also 3 passenger types. If you look at across the top of your player board, you can kind of see the different passenger types. And so the adventurous passenger wants to go to the adventurous destination. The relaxing passenger wants to go to the relaxing destination, and so forth. And so your goal in the game is going to be to kind of construct shuttles that meet the desires of those specific passengers. Like each segment has kind of a category that it is most adequate for. Like, for example, this snacks and story time segment is obviously geared towards families, whereas a board game cafe is geared towards family, but it also can be a little relaxing. And so whenever you launch a shuttle, kind of walk through this pretty quickly. One of the things you can do instead of placing a worker onto the board to take actions is you can take a worker and place them in what we call a launch elevator. And so this basically works your worker all the way to the top, and then at which point they board the shuttle. It also kind of represents a 5-second countdown and the 5 steps to launching a shuttle. And so a lot of this will make a little bit more sense later, but just so you kind of have a big overview. The first step of launching is taking your cruise tile that you scheduled, putting it above your shuttle, and then you board guests. So you'll see in a little bit how guests get added. I'm going to grab one guest here and just load them up. All right. So that's what that is saying. Basically, you get your cruise tile, you place the guests into the cabins. You can kind of see each cabin here has 1 meeple shape, so each cabin can hold 1 guest. So at the moment, this shuttle could hold a max of 1 person. If you wanted to, take more people, you could build another segment. We'll skip over this step for now. Come up to here. This is your cost. So this is where a lot of your food, oxygen, and fuel is going to come into play. So throughout the game, you'll be getting and spending these resources that are kept track of on your player board. Your food is based on the number of people. So it's your guest plus 1 for your pilot. And so in this case, we would spend 2 food because we have to feed each meeple, basically, that we're taking. The oxygen cost is the number of segments in your shuttle. So we have 2 segments that we built into our shuttle, so this would cost 2 oxygen. The fuel is based on the length of trip. So if I pull that other one that we saw earlier back down here, you can kind of see it has more stops on it. and therefore it costs more fuel, right? So shorter trip, you spend less fuel, but you're getting to kind of benefit more from the stops the longer the trip. So that's your cost. 2 is scoring your cockpit. So everybody starts with this cockpit. It scores 1 point for every segment that you've built, and that's just in your tableau. So if you had 6 segments built, it scores 6 points right now. But throughout the game, you'll be getting more shuttles. Like we said, you can have up to 3. So every time you launch a shuttle, you get to score its criteria. So you'll see on the board when we get up there that there are different types of shuttles that you get. So every time you take a new shuttle, you're giving yourself kind of a new way to score points. So that's that. And if it's the first time you launch, you flip it over, and that removes -5 points at the end of the game. So you're encouraged to launch all the shuttles that you take, because if you don't launch a shuttle that you have, you'll lose those 5 points at the end. The last thing, before your pilot boards the shuttle, is you remove a token in your launch tower. We'll come back to these in a little bit, but basically throughout the game, these tokens are going to get removed and kind of do a little bit of engine building. And so this token gets removed, and then your pilot, step 0 up here, boards the cockpit and becomes the pilot. So your worker becomes a pilot. And so now this worker is gone, right, until it comes back. So throughout the game, you're launching shuttles, sending out workers, and then they're all coming back. And everything is fully reusable, right? So when the shuttle does eventually come back, you can reuse it. And so this kind of sets us up to talk about our turn structure. So if you look here on the player board, we have steps 1, 2, and 3. So these are the 3 things you'll be doing on your turn. Step 2 is kind of the meat of the game. That's your worker placement. You're either placing a worker on the board to take actions, placing a worker to launch a shuttle, or calling a meeting, which is pulling all of your workers back. Excuse me. But before you do your worker placement stuff, we have step 1. So step 1 is, if you have a pilot in space, you're going to advance them 1 place on the stops. And so your pilot kind of keeps track of where you're at along your journey. And so the way that this would work is, at the start of our next turn, we would move our pilot to the day in space, and then we would do our worker placement stuff. Then our next turn, we would move it here, and our next turn, it would come back. So a quick breakdown of these actions, or these stops, are at days in space, you're going to gain bonuses by matching the guest to icons in the shuttle, right? So this is where they're hanging out on the ship. So if they have things to do that they like, you're going to get rewarded for it. So quick scroll way up here at the top of the board. I'll go and show you guys this. Up here on the top right of the main board, we have this section. This will eventually have some art in it showcasing the 3 destinations. But every game, there's a random token that's placed here that corresponds to that guest. So we have a purple guest, and for this game, they reward resources, right? So purple guests reward resources in this game. So if you want to come back down to the player board, if we look at our shuttle, at a day in space, we have 1 guest, and so they're going to give us 1 resource, right? Because we have 1 purple icon. If we had 2 purple icons, we would get 2 resources. And the same thing, if we had a teal guest, we would get 2 of that teal bonus that's up there. So that's a day in space. You're just going to gain bonuses based on matching guests to the icons in the shuttle. So you really want to try to cater to what they want based on who you're sending up. Destinations. Destinations are where these tokens that we took with us get dropped off. I won't go into too much detail up here, but if you look at the top of your player board, you have those 3 destinations. And so whenever you visit a destination, you drop off the token and unlock one of the 3 upgrades on that destination. So you don't have to have a guest that matches or anything. It's just, when you land on that destination, you get to kind of invest in that destination and upgrade it. These are all in your player aid, which is either to the right or to the left of your player board that you can reference throughout the game. But the icons should make sense once you get going. But for example, they're going to allow you to do different things, like this one here makes all of your workers have the expert ability. So you'll see in a little bit, all the experts have like a special ability. This basically turns all of your workers into experts. So they're going to do things like that. You'll also notice that there's a victory point on the back of this. So the tan icon is our victory point during the game. The blue one, which we saw on these segments over here, is at the end of the game. So there's the differentiation of those there. But what the victory points do on the destinations is, whenever you're there, you can spend ads. So this is one of the main ways you're spending your advertisements. So what's happening is, you land, they get off the shuttle, and then you want to try to hit them with like a Segway tour, or go to the beach, or do something fun at a destination, right? Like an excursion. They always try to advertise you for. And so here you're going to spend ads to score points. So this is where you'll get a lot of your points in the game, is you spend the ad number based on the color of the guest. So if it matches their destination, if they're more interested in that destination, you just spend 1. 2 if they don't match. So in this case, we have a purple guest. So we would spend 2 ads and we would score 4 points. So every time you add a token to a destination, it increases the scoring of that destination, right? So that's your destinations in Days in Space. It is all listed here as a quick reminder. So like just to recap, your destinations, you're dropping off a token on the matching destination to unlock an upgrade, and you're spending ads to score the points. And then your day in space, each passenger gives you their matching bonus for each icon that matches in the shuttle. So that's those two. The last thing you'll hit is coming back to Earth. So that's the last icon you'll hit on your journey. When you come back to Earth, you bring your worker back to the break room, and then you discard the cruise tile and the guests, and they go back to the supply. And like I said, your shuttle is fully reusable, so you can launch it up again, you can make it bigger, whatever you'd like to do. Now, one thing I will hit before we go on is kind of a key concept in the game, and that's under each of these workers is a hand, and that is our icon for a funding bonus. So anytime you place a worker into your break room, you're going to gain a funding bonus. And those bonuses are listed on the left side of your player board over here. And so at the start of the game, you start with the ability to take 1 money, 1 ad, 1 point, or 1 resource. But as we saw, these tokens get removed throughout the game, and those bonuses can become better. So as you're choosing which tokens you want to remove, you're going to make those funding bonuses better, right? So now if I place a worker here, I could take a resource, or I could take 2 victory points, or 2 ads, or whatever, So that's that. Any quick questions about kind of these icons, or kind of what your goal is to launch shuttles, hit these different stops? All that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. All right. Now we're going to jump up and talk about some actions and how you accomplish all that. We won't go into much detail with these, just kind of a general overview, and then we can kind of dive deep into them as you're actually taking them. And so if you look at step 2 of your player board, you've got a few options. 1, we've already gone over. That's this one here. That's launching. That's where you're placing a worker and doing those steps to launch. Mostly throughout the game, you're not going to be launching shuttles. You're going to be placing your worker to take your actions. And so this top part tells you that you're going to place a worker into a location that you don't already have a worker, and you get to take 2 actions. So our action icon is that lightning bolt there. And so let's scroll up to the main board, and we'll look at our actions really quickly. All right. So on the main board, we have 6 locations. There are these squares in the center of the board. So whenever you place your worker, like we saw, you can't place a worker where you already have a worker. However, you can put other players. So this is a little bit of that positive player interaction. Okay, so if yellow wants to place a worker now, they can't go here, but they could go here and bump this pink worker back to the pink player. And because that pink player is putting that worker back on their player board, they're covering up one of those hand icons, which then gives them a bonus, right? So whenever you bump somebody, you're just basically giving them their worker back, and they get to take a bonus. Now, the actions on the board, kind of mix around here. The first one to look at is this one. This is building a development. So if you look back at your player board, we'll kind of look at developments. The bottom action at that location is hiring an expert. So we'll kind of hit both these together. So that location, you can either build a development or hire an expert. Your developments come from here. And of course, you can hire one of these experts. The cost to do these is just underneath them. So the cost to build a development, this column costs 5. This column costs 6. This column costs 7. And you can pay money or the resource that's equal to the row that you build it from. So like if you build this one from the fuel row, you can spend money or fuel. It just has to be a total of 5. The expert cost is also listed underneath one. This one is 2 money per development, still in the oxygen and food rows. So right now there are 6 developments here, so this would cost 12 money. But if you built these 2 developments first, now there's only 4 developments in the oxygen and food rows, so it would only cost you 8 money. So you can kind of decide when you want to hire your experts to do stuff to make them a little cheaper. Your left one over here is very similarly structured. So it's 3 money per token that's still down here. So we saw that removing these tokens throughout the game can give you better funding bonuses. Removing these tokens down here make that expert cheaper. So like now this expert would cost 9, right? Because there's 3 here, and it's 3 money per token that's still there. So that's kind of a reason that you might want to go after different tokens, and you'll see how you kind of interact with those in a little bit. But once you hire an expert, it just comes over here, and you've got them for the rest of the game. We'll come back up to the main board now, and I'll show you their special ability. In the very center of the board, each game we have a different tile for the expert. This game, it's this one, and it's just saying anytime you take an action that costs money, you're going to pay one less of that cost. So that red negative symbol there, that means a cost. So that means your cost is reduced by 1 money for doing something that costs money. So that's what an expert does for this game. So yeah, any questions on those actions? I do want to talk about quickly where a development goes. So whenever you build a development, it comes up here to the main board. You can kind of see all these gear icons on the board. And so one of the places you can place them is under a technology. These are just permanent abilities that you'll have for the rest of the game. Like for example, this one here is all segments cost 1 fewer to build. So if you're building a segment in your shuttle and you have a development under this technology, you pay 1 less. The other place you can place a development is in what we call the network. So it just connects all the locations together. And so what they do here is they give you more action selection. So now if you place this worker here, you still get 2 actions like normal, but you can choose from any of these 4 because you're connected via your development, right? So you might take this action twice with your worker over here. So you don't have to take an action of the location you're on, and you can take any combination of actions. So you can take the same one twice if you want. Now you will notice if you're the first player to build a development in any given area, you're covering up that icon, which is our icon for reputation. If you look at the bottom of the board down here, you'll see our reputation track. So this track has 2 main functions. The first is it has thresholds that tell you how much it costs to use other players' developments. So at the start of the game, it's 2, 1, and 0. And the way that works is, let's say, Pink places a worker up here and they want to use this connection, but they don't have a development here. They could pay yellow, or everybody who has one there, the amount based on their rep, right? So they would pay yellow 2 money in this case. Now you do have to pay everybody that's there, so we do start with some neutral developments on the board. If you want to use these, you pay the bank or the supply. So like if Pink wanted to use this connection here, they would pay yellow 2 and the supply 2. But of course, if their reputation was higher, they could pay a lot less to use that stuff. The other thing reputation is used for is once on your turn. That's what this is saying, is you can drop your reputation as far as you would like and take 1 type of bonus. So like if yellow was short 2 resources when they were launching, they could drop down to here, crossing these 2 resources, and immediately spend them or add them to their supply, however they would like to do it. They just don't get the add. You just choose 1 type, gain everything, crossover. So that's your 2 main functions of reputation. Yeah, any questions here about developments, reputation, or the expert?
Developments, even if you have a chain of them, do not let you move more than adjacent. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, and that is noted on your player board. Like on step number 2, when you place a worker, I think there's an icon there that shows you that you can only do the adjacent locations. So like for example, if yellow had this setup right here and they put their worker here, they're only choosing from these 6. They can't like loop all the way around to a location over here. It's just to the adjacent location. Cool. All right, we'll keep going. Those are the 2 we'll probably spend most time on. The rest of these should make a little bit more sense and be pretty quick. So the next one is this location over here, which deals with our agenda cards. These agenda cards are on the left side of the board. They're just one-time use cards. You can either use them for their text ability or the resource that's on them. And most of them will tell you when they can be used in the top right, like a restriction, or if there's no restriction, you just do what it says. Like for example, this one is whenever you're taking the action to hire an expert, you just play this card and you would pay 4 fewer than the cost you had to pay. This one doesn't have a restriction. It just says gain 3 adds from the supply. So you would just play this on your turn. So they're just free things you can play on your turn as long as they apply to the restriction that it says. Or if you don't want to use them for that ability, you can spend it as the resource. Like I could just discard this as an oxygen and not get the text ability on it. And so the action to take these cards allows you to take 2. So you just draw 2 to your hand. There's a hand limit of 5. They don't automatically get refilled. That's what the bottom action does. The bottom action allows you to gain every bonus you see, and then you wipe the board and add 4 new cards. So like in this case, if it was completely empty, you could refill, you would gain a resource, a money, an add, a rep, and then we would add 4 new cards. Now, whenever cards get played, they do go to a discard pile. And when you're drawing agenda cards, you can spend 1 rep to take the top card of the agenda discard pile if you would like. So that's agenda cards. Any questions on those?
I guess this is instead of one of the ones that you'd take from here.
Correct. And it doesn't count as both. Like you can do and or. So like if I was drawing 2 agenda cards, I could take this one, and then if this was up here, I could spend 1 rep and take that one as my second one.
And then if I was taking 2, could I spend 1 rep to take this one and then spend another rep to take this one?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay,
And this is just open information, right? So like if you
Got
need
it.
to look through it or something, it's totally fine.
Cool, cool.
Do you
Yep.
have to do both actions on the area that you're initiating, or if you have a development?
So you can do, yeah, you can do any combination. So like, you know, you could have this right here. You could place your worker here and take that action twice if you wanted to. Like for example, if pink was here and you don't want to bump pink to give them a bonus, you could go here instead, have access to this, and take that twice if you wanted.
Or you could do that and that.
Okay.
However you would like. Yep. In any combination. Yep. All right. Moving along here, we'll come down here. This system is similar to the agenda cards in that the top action lets you take, the bottom action refills, but it applies to this silo right here, which is where you're going to gain a lot of resources in the game. So the top action lets you take 3 resources of your choice for free. So you just reduce them here, add them to your player board, any combination, as long as they're available. The bottom action says to discard an agenda card from your hand. It doesn't matter what it says on it. And then you choose 1 resource in the silo, you max it out, you gain 1 reputation, and then you gain 1 money for each that you add. So if it goes from 0 to 5, you're going to gain 5 money. So you're really encouraged to come refill it back up as people take those resources. But when you're taking that action, you're just choosing 1 of the resources, maxing it out, and then gaining the money and rep. So any questions on those? Cool.
Yeah.
All right, coming on over here, we'll go up here to the top left. The top left action, this is how you draw blueprints. So there's no cost to do this. You're just drawing them from the display. You can pay a rep if you want to reset as many of these as you would like. And that's just something you can do on your turn. You don't actually have to take the action. If you want to reset to see what you get and then decide to take the action, totally fine. And then at the end of the action, these just slide down. So just a river here. And so that just lets you take 2, no cost. To take them, you're going to pay for them when you actually build them into your shuttle. Bottom action here is another way to get resources and adds. So you can do 1 of these things. You can do both of these things. You just can't do them multiple times. So you can do 1 or both. That's it. So you can spend 1 money, get 2 resources, and or 1 money to get 2 adds. Any questions on those actions? Cool. All right. Coming down here, this is how you gain a new cockpit and engine. So we've mentioned a few times that you can have up to 3 shuttles. So there are cockpits and engines over here. You take them as a set, right? So we know that the cockpit is a way to score points, right? So everybody starts with that same one, but as you get new shuttles, you give yourself new ways to score points. Like for example, this top one is 5 points for every expert you've hired. This one is 3 points for every 2 developments you've built, and so on. And so whenever you take this action, you're choosing just 1 of these sets and then placing it beside your player board. The engine gives you an immediate bonus, and then you flip it over. So like this would immediately give you 2 funding bonuses. This would immediately give you 2 resources and a money, and so forth. So there's no cost to start a new shuttle. You actually get like a little seed money to get going. So any questions on that action? Everything makes sense with that one?
This is just a specific thing.
Yeah.
What is this one saying?
Yeah, so this is 3 points for every shuttle you have that has at least 2 segments in it.
Okay, got it.
And this one down here is 2 points for every 3 rep. And I think these are also in your player aids. Like throughout the game, if something pops up that you have a question about, feel free to reference that too if you'd like. All right, so that's that action. The other action over here is about building segments. So this would be where, if you draw these blueprints by taking that action up there, these will be on the right side of your player board. This would be where you would pay the cost. It's in the top left. So you would pay 2 money, you would flip it over and place it into a shuttle. So this action lets you build 2 segments. You can build ones you've already drawn. You can also build directly from the display. You just have to pay the additional costs. Like if you wanted to build this directly from the display, you would pay 2 money plus 2 money and a reputation. So it saves you the action of having to draw it first and then build it. So it's kind of like a rush job, but you are paying a little extra to do so. Any questions on that one? Cool. All right, our final two actions are these here. These deal with our scheduling cruises and selling tickets to guests. So our first action is called schedule a cruise. So if you come back over here to the right side of the board, so this is a side board. It's called the marketing board. Kind of represents like a travel agency. And I actually need to, I forgot to set up our passengers. Let me set that up real quick based on the tiles that we have out here. So at the start of the game, you basically just put out some random tiles, and then based on these icons that show up on these tiles, you populate the supply. So let me just grab these, and we've got a 3-player game. So there we go. Throw them in a empty little shuffle bag. Throw them out. So what this is a queue. So you can kind of see there's a door down here to the travel agency. So this kind of forms the line outside that people are standing in, waiting to come inside to buy tickets. So once I get these out here, we can walk through those actions. All right, so that top action is schedule a cruise. So you can kind of see it has that blue rectangle with the arrow in it. That's the back of these guys, not in TTS because I didn't import it, but the back of those are that icon. And it also has that meeple. This is called our cruise consultant. So everybody has a cruise consultant that's up here at the top. And so whenever you're scheduling a cruise, you're going to take your cruise consultant and place it behind the desk of the cruise that you want to schedule. And so each player can only ever have one cruise scheduled. You only have one cruise consultant. So once you schedule a cruise, you can't schedule another one until you launch that cruise. Now, when you place the cruise consultant, you are covering up this icon. So this is where you're going to start to interact with those tokens in your launch tower. So this would be where you choose any one of those tokens in your launch tower, gain the bonus, and flip it over. So if you come back down to the yellow player board, I'll just show you again what that looks like. So that's just choosing any one of these tokens, you gain the bonus, and flip it over. And as we saw before, whenever you launch is when it gets removed. So that's when the funding bonus would get better, or that's when the expert would get cheaper. But at this moment, you're just choosing any one of these you want, you gain what's on it, and flip it over. So that's that action. You're just placing your cruise consultant and then flipping a launch tower token. The last action at the bottom of that location is advertising for a cruise. So when you're advertising for a cruise, you just choose one cruise. It could be yours, it could be somebody else's, it could be nobody's. So it doesn't matter if there's a cruise consultant beside it or not, because y'all work for the same company, always helping each other out, of course. And so you choose one cruise, and then you can advertise up to 2 guests to that cruise. So you're basically kind of pre-selling them a ticket for that cruise. And so the cost for this is based on their position in the queue. So the farther they are up, they require 1 ad. The second section here requires 2 ads. Last section requires 3 ads. And so in our case here, we could pay 1 ad and bring this guest over. Now we could also pay another ad and bring this guest over. But if we're launching like a small shuttle like we did before, we might just have space for 1 guest. So we may just want to do 1 guest, but you can do 1 or 2. And when you place a guest, you're immediately going to activate these bonuses over here, and you get 1 money per destination. So this has 1 destination and 1 day in space. So we would get 1 money for the 1 destination. And then you get 1 reputation if it has their matching destination. So if you get them to buy a ticket to a trip they're interested in, you're going to gain some reputation. So in our case here, there's 1 destination, so we get 1 money, and they do match purple and purple. So we would get 1 reputation. Does that action make sense?
I think so.
Spending ads, gaining money, and rep. Cool. All right. So if you come back over to the yellow player board, we'll hit a few final things, and then we'll get started. So we already looked at what launching looks like. If you start your turn with no workers, you have to call a meeting, but you can also call a meeting even if you still have workers. Sometimes it makes more sense to do so. So whenever you call a meeting, you pull all of your workers back to your player board from the main board. If they happen to be in space, you don't pull them back because they're in space. You pull all the ones back from the main board. And it's one of those things, just like people always ask, like, I'm pretty sure you can't do this, but I just want to make sure. It's like, yes, correct. So you pull all your workers back, and then of course you would get a funding bonus for each worker you pull back. So we would get 2 funding bonuses in this case. And then you get to take 1 action adjacent to one of your developments. So everybody will start with one development on the board, but of course you build more developments as the game progresses. So even on like a recall turn, you're still getting some funding bonuses and one action. So you won't have any dead turns or anything. So that's everything for our worker placement. Any questions on that column meeting or recall? Everybody good on that one? Cool.
What's the bonus again for bringing back?
Yeah, so the hand icon, their options are over here. So they all start out at one of each of those, but as those tokens get removed, those bonuses can get better to choose from. Yep. Step 3 of your turn. So after you advance your shuttle, do your worker placement stuff, step 3 is claiming a company goal. So if you come up here to the main board, we'll end here on our progress track. So this tile right here, I know it kind of blends in, but it's a tile. It is our company goals. So this is different every game. So for this game, these are public objectives that you're going after. And so it's building 5 developments. So let's say yellow, at the end of Evan's turn, he's built 5 developments. He would bring this cube from above that corresponding goal, and he would place it on the progress track. So this progress track here is our timer for the game. And we'll do some mid-game scoring. And then, of course, once every cube has been placed, that will trigger the end of the game. But now, once this goal has been completed, we move that tracker up. So the next player that wants to accomplish building developments has to build 6. They have to be a little more impressive to the board if they want to accomplish that goal. The second goal for this game is collecting sets of icons and segments you've built. So this is if you've built 2 of each icon in your tableau. So if you've got 2 of each of those icons in your shuttles, you accomplish this goal and we move it up. This last one is dropping those upgrade tokens off on 2 different destinations, right? So if you remember when we hit a destination, you get to unlock an upgrade on that destination. This would be unlocking an upgrade on 2 different destinations. So if you're the first to do that, this would move up. And of course, in a 3-player game, if the first 2 people here are doing the same one, and it gets a little more difficult for the third one there. Any questions on the company goals? All those make sense? Cool. And the reason that you want to do these is they uncover these wings. So once 4 cubes get placed into this first section, we do our A scoring. And so looking at here, you're going to gain victory points equal to the number of your wings times the number of your cubes in that section. So yellow in this case has 2 wings uncovered, and we'll say they had 2 cubes in this section. They would get 2 times 2 for 4 points. So every time you uncover a wing, you're basically increasing your multiplier for every time we score. Now there is a reminder here, if you're the player with the most reputation, at the time we do this scoring, you're considered to have like an extra virtual cube. So like if Evan had, the most rep right now, he would technically have 4 cubes, 3 here, 1 for the most rep, times the 3 there. So it is nice to have the most rep throughout the game because you do get to score a little more points there. So we do that same process after section number 2 is filled. We do the exact same scoring, the number of your wings times the number of cubes in that section. And then after section 3 is filled, we work through these quick steps. We finish out the current round, everybody gets their workers back, we do one more round, and then if you end the game with a cruise like still on its journey, you get to choose 1 remaining stop to trigger. So like even if you launch on your last turn, you could still hit one of the stops that are on that trip to score points or whatever. And so once we've done that, we hit our final scoring. Final scoring is all your leftover stuff divided by 3. The final cube scoring for this section, and cubes can get added here beyond the space if that happens. Reputation, if you look at the rep track, there's just victory points. You're just going to gain the highest number that you pass. So either 3, 8, or 15 there. The segments that you built, that's just the victory points on all of the segments that you built in your tableau. And then the last 2 things we score are developments, and we score the cockpits again. So we score all of the cockpits in your tableau. So you score each shuttle when you launch it, and you score them all again at the end of the game. And if you come back to the yellow player board, I'll show you how the developments score. So same as rep, you're just going to score the rightmost value that you've accomplished. So you score the rightmost point value of the rightmost empty column. So like, if it looked like this at the end of the game, Evan would score 15 points. The rightmost column, points at the top. So that's everything for scoring. Any questions on that?
I think I understood from what you said, but
yeah.
In order to get that 15 points, that's having all of these removed, not like having just one of those spots opened up.
Correct. Yeah. If it looked like this, you would score 0 points at the end of the game.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. It has to be an empty column. It's the rightmost empty column. Yep. So if you build all your developments, you get 30 points.
Got it.
Yep. All right. That's it. Okay. So we're going to do a couple things. Let me fix everything. I messed up over here. Put it all back. So in your supply, just make sure that you have 10 money, 2 ads, and 1 of each resource. And then everybody starts with 1 agenda card. There should be an agenda card below your player board. You can flip it over, leave it as open information, or draw it to your hand, whichever you'd like. Technically, this is drawn from the deck, so this would be the only hidden information in the game. Anytime you draw agenda cards, the rest of the game is going to be open information. So if you want to keep it as your little secret, you can. All right, and then we're going to do a couple things in reverse turn order. I'll let Evan go first. He's played a few times. Put these back. And then you need this worker. We got fixed. Let's see, yellow cube here.
Oh, I guess one question is, I was looking at the number of cubes that are here and the number of cube spaces total. Do the cubes get put back somewhere, or more cubes come from somewhere?
Yeah, so if you zoom in here to the yellow player board again, one of the steps you do when you launch is you place a cube onto the progress track. So every time you launch a shuttle, that also adds cubes. So cubes will get added as you launch shuttles, or if you complete a company goal. Yep.
Got it. Okay.
And usually in a typical full game, you'll launch 3 to 5 times. Just kind of depends on how the players are playing.
Okay.
All right. So in reverse turn order. So let's see, starting with Trevor, we're going to do a couple things. So since this is your first game, I'm going to kind of just have you do a specific thing. Normally this would be a decision. You're going to take a development from the first column. So you're going to take this food development right here. And you're going to place it up here on the main board. So you're going to place it right here. We're just going to go clockwise from this neutral development. Normally this would be a decision you get to make, but it's just easy for your first game to have you do it. And now you're going to take a blueprint to start the game with. So you're going to take this top blueprint up here and place it to the right of your player board, just in one of these slots over here. And so you will have to pay for it when you actually build it, but right now it's free. And of course, normally you'd have to pay for development, but everybody starts the game with 1 for free as well. So now we'll go over to, actually, I started with the wrong person. That's all right. Sasha, we'll do you now. So you can take, we'll have you take an oxygen development, place it in that next spot.
Bump me up. Oh, I guess we're all bumped up. So, okay, got it.
Yeah, so the way it works is, if I would have done this in correct order, it would have made a lot more sense. But the way it works is, and this is also on the back of your engine. So if you flip over your engine, that's in front of you, that tells you start with 10 money, 2 ads, an agenda card, and then reputation based on turn order, right? So Evan's going to start with 0 rep. Trevor's going to start with 1 rep, and Sasha will start with 2. Now, when you place your development, you do increase your rep again. So when you built that development, you would increase this again. So Sasha and Trevor, you can give yourself 1 more reputation here. Yep. And then Evan, you'll do the same. I'll let you choose any one of these you want. Put it somewhere in the network.
Oh, anyone?
These ones.
Yeah, I'll let you choose. You get special privileges.
Yes.
The bonuses on the reputation track, is that only when you're decreasing your rep?
Only when you decrease it. Now, there is an upgrade on the family destination that enables you to get bonuses every time you go up. It's like if you happen to unlock that upgrade, you would gain the bonus every time you go up and cross it.
Okay.
Yep. And then let's see, Sasha, you'll take one of these segments over here. You can just take this top one if you'd like.
Okay. Yes, I will take that top
blueprint.
One.
Yep.
And I'll place that over here.
And Evan, you can choose one of those.
Yeah. Obviously, I need a board game cafe.
Of course. We'll slide these down. And then Evan can take first turn.
Okay. Let me remind myself what the heck I'm doing.
You figured it out.
It's been a hot minute. Okay, so Get it? Yes.
Oh, and just as a reminder, there is that player aid in the corners if you want to. I think you can hit like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it'll show you the different pages. It's got like, how do you get money?
Mm-hmm.
What do you need to launch? What are some tips? All the icons, stuff like that.
Yes, yes. One per segment. Let's
Oops.
cost $5 to build another. I don't want to do that. Let's go up here and do. Now this gets guys ready, and then am I the one who has access to those passengers? Is that right?
Yeah, so your top action is what schedules it. So you place your consultant beside one of
Yeah.
the cruises. The bottom one is what sells tickets. So typically you want to schedule and then sell tickets to your own cruise. A reason you might sell tickets to somebody else's or nobody's cruise is it's a great way to get money and
Right.
reputation. So if you have a lot of ads, it's a good way to score some money and rep.
Right. And currently I've got a couple of ads. So, yeah, I'll go here.
Do it.
And I will move my little person down to this one. We'll go
Oh, we
Wow.
bring 2 people.
2 people. Right?
Yeah, so for your first action, when you place this here, you're covering up a bonus that lets you choose a token in your launch tower.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to gain what's on it and then flip it over. So any one of those 8 tokens.
I'm going to gain this one.
Yep. So you get 4 resources.
Yep. So 1,
Maxed.
2, 3, 4. And I spent 2 ads.
Yep. You spend 2 ads, and then you will get to get the money and the rep here.
And the money is 1 per thing that matches. So that's $2. And a rep.
So this is just 1 money
$1.
per destination. So there's just 1 destination, and then it's a rep if the destination matches.
Okay, so it's $2 and 2 rep. Is that right?
Just 1 rep because purple does not match destination.
Oh, I was conflating these 2 things. Okay, great. Perfect.
Yep, $2 and a rep, and you're all set. Oh, and I will promote everybody, so feel free to delete, copy, paste money and ads if that's easier.
Well,
Do these
But
refill?
If he did it here, he would get $2 and 2 rep, but then he's at a cruise that takes 4 fuel, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Do these guys refuel or move down, or is this if this guy's
They-
gone and you just paying?
They do not. Yeah. So we'll get there when somebody launches. So the way it works is when somebody launches, that cruise gets removed and a new one gets added.
Okay.
And when you add a new cruise, all the people who are interested in it scoot forward, and we add a couple new ones. Yep. We kind of talk through that when we get there.
oh, was I supposed to take that cruise or no?
Nope. It stays right
Okay,
there until
cool.
you launch.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And then is it Trevor's turn or?
On to Trevor.
All right.
Feel free to do anything you'd like, or I'm happy to give any kind of strategic advice to you new fellas if you want it.
Would it be a bad idea to take? Is there any bad choice out of the 6 choices?
I don't think so. I think I've taken everything as my first turn. It's like everything's a great option. Like, yeah, you could take all 4 agenda cards your first turn. You could build 2 developments. You could go ahead and get a new shuttle and ignore the one you started with. You could go ahead and start building into your shuttle. Do what Evan did. A lot of different options you can do. Whichever one just seems interesting.
So this first one, pay $4 fewer when hiring an expert.
Mhm.
because I'm just seeing what an expert costs.
Yeah, so they're just below it. So like this one costs 2 per development that's in these top 2 rows. So right now it would cost you 10. And this one over here is 3 per token that's still in these bottom 4 spaces. So it costs 12 right now.
Okay, so it's based on the developments for this guy, and it's based on the
Correct.
token.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Well, and just remind me again how Evan flipped this guy.
Yeah, so when you schedule a cruise, you
Yeah.
take your cruise consultant, place it beside a cruise, and you
Right.
cover up this icon. And that's
Okay.
choosing one of those tokens to gain the bonus of and flip over.
Okay. All right. I'll do. Doesn't matter where he goes.
Technically, they go in the little spot, but you can sit them down wherever you'd like.
I'm actually gonna boot Evan out.
Yeah.
So out of curiosity, he could go here and give Evan 2 to do these
$2,
actions.
yeah.
Exactly.
Or
Yep.
if you're booting him, he could get like $1 or essentially his choice of one thing.
Correct. Yep. And his worker back.
And his worker back.
I am getting an ad.
So that action lets me do my guy onto something.
Yep.
And then.
Yep. And then you flip over one of those tokens in your launch tower.
Okay.
Anyone you want, you just gain the bonus of whatever's on the top of it and then flip it over. So you could choose a small bonus right now that will eventually make those funding bonuses better, or you could choose a big one-time bonus right now that makes that expert cheaper when it gets removed.
Yeah, I think I will do the same thing. I'm just copying Evan, evidently.
Hey, that's all right.
I just realized I'm just doing everything.
That's all good.
That's what
You'll
get.
eventually deviate. So
yeah.
Nice. Yep. So that was action number 1. So if you want, you could do the. Sorry, Sausage.
I was just gonna ask. So if you flip this over, when I take a worker back, am I still getting 1 resource?
Resource is not an option. It basically is
it becomes
blocked.
not an option. Okay, got it.
Correct. Yep. So there's a timing element of like wanting to do it close to when you want to launch.
I see.
Cool. Yeah. So Trevor, for your second action, if you want, you could do the same thing Evan did. You could advertise to your cruise.
Right. Okay.
Now you do only have 1 ad. Sorry, you only have 2 ads, so you may only be able to do 1 person.
And that's what this symbol is.
That's that action. Yep, you're placing guests beside the cruise tile. Yep.
Could he move this guy again and flip another tower thing?
You cannot. Nope. Once it's scheduled, you're locked into it until you launch it.
Okay.
Not being. Okay, so I could bring this guy up by spending.
Yep.
Of my advertising tokens.
Exactly.
That's where I should.
All right. And then that is going to get me. Let's see if I can figure this out. So I'm going to take $1 for each destination, which is $1, and I'm going to take 1 rep for each destination that matches my guy. So I get 1 rep and $1.
That's it.
Okay. Oops, that's not new. Come on.
Very nice. All right. Over to Sasha.
Okay, I'm gonna try here just to see what happens. And I'm gonna go down on oxygen twice and down on fuel once. Yes.
Okay.
And then I will bump oxygen back to the top to gain a reputation and $5.
Yep. You'll just need to spend an agenda card. So you'll have to
That's
discard the agenda card in your hand. Yep.
Got it. Yeah, that's fine. And that just goes to here.
Correct. Yep.
Walk me through that one more time, Sasha, what we just did.
What I did was this top action lets me take 3 resources, and taking resources, I bump this down for each resource that I take. And so these all started at 2.
Yep.
And so I spent 1, 2, and then 3 to gain 2 oxygen and 1 fuel. And then this bottom action, if I discard a one of those cards, then I can choose one of these 3 things to bump back to the top. And
Okay.
in exchange for doing that, I gain 1 reputation and $1 for every step it went.
Right.
And then I'll click my $5. I just wanted to try that.
It's a great way to get some quick money.
Mhm.
Back to Evan.
Okay. I am gonna go. Oh, that's not me. Get out of here. This is me. I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna grab this sucker.
And just for clarity's sake, if Evan's thing was here, he couldn't move that one, right? He would have to break to bring it back before moving
Correct. You're
that one.
always taking one from your player board, and if you
Got
don't
it.
have any, you have to call a meeting. Yep.
Or yeah, meeting.
Instead of the listed actions, this is instead of your actions for the turn. Is that correct?
So this would be when you're taking this action up here. So instead of doing that stuff, you instead do what's on the card.
One time.
Correct.
Yeah, got it. Got it. Go say save a buck and 2 resources. Cool. I'm gonna take this one.
And these icons here are just a reminder of what's underneath.
Correct. Yep.
Got it.
And then I'm gonna pay $2 to Trevor to build to hire a worker. Yep. And I'm gonna pay 4 less. So I just, yeah, it's fine. You know, instead of doing that, I'm going to keep my $2. Trevor. Yes, so and so.
Oh, you were going to use my development.
I was gonna, and I'll just take these other 2 ones also. Okay, that's it.
All right. So that's that one. All right, so I will go here and I guess I'll do build a development so I can put it anywhere.
Anywhere you'd like. So anywhere in the network or on a technology up here to give you a permanent ability. And if you cover a rep icon, you'll gain a reputation.
Stole all the cards, dude.
Don't mind me.
So advertising, there's advertising over here. Where else is advertising?
So yeah, you spend ads over here, and then you spend ads when you get to destinations to score
Okay.
points. Basically, getting him to go on excursions and stuff.
So is this for spending ads at all places, or is this for only spending ads over here?
So that's just when you're adding them here. Something I didn't mention, you can always do a last minute ticket or last minute sale. It's like whenever you launch, if you don't have people that you sold tickets to, you can pull them directly from the supply. You still have to pay the ads, but you lose out on the money and rep. So last minute ticket, you can do that. So that's what that's saying is you can either add them to a cruise or directly to your shuttle with a last minute. So
Okay. I think I will. I think I'll put it here.
yep,
That's
and you'll just
fine.
want to pay your cost for it, which is at the bottom of that column. Which I think that one came from your 5, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
That's
So you can spend money or oxygen. And it just has to be a total of 5.
And you can do a combination.
Any
That's what you're
combination.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So you could spend 2 oxygen and 3 money if you wanted, or all 5 money, whatever you'd like.
I can't spend food.
Correct. Just the matching one from that row.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll just pay. Well, no, I won't. So it's 2. Let's make it 1. So it cost me 5, right?
Correct. Yeah. So if you do 1 oxygen, just 4 money.
4. I'm not sure what my money versus these things are, but I will.
I feel like money is slightly less valuable, but you are
Yeah.
limited on the amount of these things that you can have. So you're like,
Yeah.
just managing your empty space, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I've got one more action. Yeah.
So
So
you could do that again if you wanted. Could build another development. Or you could use your development that you already have up here to take that refill action.
yeah, that's
Now
what
that it's empty. Yeah.
that's what I was thinking of doing.
You get
So
all
that
those
would give me a
bonuses.
trap.
Not bad.
That would give me a add. That would give
I'll throw the cards
money
out here
add,
for us.
and it would give me any
Oh man.
one, which is I'll take this one, I guess.
In my head, you were gonna have to bump me to do that.
Mhm.
No, you were wrong hand.
I was wrong.
All right, cool. Back to Sasha.
Yeah, and he got all of his stuff right.
I think so, yep.
Yeah. Money rep adds, and I took 1.
So this can be done twice?
Yes.
Okay. I think I will go here. Pay the bank $2.
You don't want to bump Trevor, huh?
Nope.
Oh, so it's a dick.
And then, yeah, I feel like bumping people. I don't know. We'll see. I will then, I guess, do this 2 times. Gonna do 1 with oxygen. And okay, we're mainly paying these resources for launches, right? Are there other ways that we pay these resources?
So resources can be spent to build developments. Those are your 2 main ways you're
but
spending resources.
Okay, yeah, building developments and launches.
Yep.
Okay, got it. So I will spend all of that. So that's 3, 4, 5. And I'll go here.
I do think that one, though, that one I think cost you 6, right? Did that one come from your second column?
Oh, you're right. I was also going to be doing a 5 and I got distracted.
Oh, cool. Yep, no worries.
I will go up 1. And then I will spend 5 to do this one here. Go up another one.
That's it.
And yeah, I think that's my turn.
Mm-hmm. Well then. Well then. I'm gonna go here and bump old Trev Dog.
Oh, nice.
So you get a bonus.
Yes. What do I want? So I can only take the ones in these 4 slots.
Yeah.
And
Yep,
now,
a money, add, point, or resource.
so when you take them, you flip them, and then what happens to it?
So you flip them when you schedule a cruise like you did with this tile. So when you gain a funding bonus, you're just getting what you see. So you just look at it and choose something that's visible.
Okay. And how do you get them off so that they're getting to the next again? I know you mentioned
Yes.
it.
So when you launch, that's one of the steps in the launch. So when you launch your first shuttle, this one will get removed. So if you want to remove these next time you schedule a cruise, you want to flip one of those instead.
Okay.
And just for clarity's sake, you could have multiple of these flipped at one time and you just choose which one, or is that?
You can only ever have one because you can only schedule one cruise at a time. You only got one
Oh,
cruise
got it.
consultant.
I see. That's
So you're
what
always
stops you
removing
from
the one
having
that's
multiple.
flipped.
Got it.
Correct. Yep.
So I can take an ad if I want.
Sure. Yep.
Okay.
I'm spending $5.
I may be overdoing it in ads.
To place this here. Gets me one of these reputation suckers.
You're so unreputable right now, Evan.
I mean, that's normal
It's
for me.
embarrassing.
It's normal. And then I'm gonna get my boss man, Randy Savage. And he's gonna cost me 9 minus 4 is $5.
So the cost is 3 per token
Yeah,
in there.
yeah.
So it's per token that's there or flipped over. You can see the icon there.
Or
So it's
flipped over.
So you'd have to launch to actually reduce the cost.
correct. When it gets removed, it will come 9.
Well, my whole plan is ruined.
Whole day.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you could
Ruined.
drop your rep for that extra buck.
No,
if you wanted.
I'll just have paid a food for my development.
Now you could hire this guy because he costs 10 right now.
No. Nope.
So you dropped food to get a
When I, because I did the other thing I did was build a development, and I just paid straight money, but I could have spent the food. Yeah. So I was retconning
Yeah.
slightly.
I don't know. No.
I don't know.
I say if it all happens on the same turn, it's all good.
Yeah. Just kidding.
But that's it. That's it. I'm done.
Oh, you do get a funding bonus.
Oh,
because you covered up so you could get your food back
guess
or
what?
money. Yeah.
Oh.
You know, maybe I'll get my. No, I'll take $1.
So when you hire a expert, he goes into the
break room. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And anytime you place a worker there for any reason, you get a funding bonus.
Okay.
That's it.
Trevor?
And it's $1, is that it? Or it's one of these?
One of
you
these.
just have to choose
I picked
which one you want.
Yeah. Right. Okay. What came out? Oh, that's the blueprint there, right? Okay. Yeah. What happens if let's say I'm going here and I want to use this space, but I don't have a development, and there's two different developments here. Like let's say there's a yellow one and a blue one. Do I pay for both of them, or do I just
Mhm.
pick one and pay?
Everybody, and you would pay this amount right now since that's where you're at. So you'd pay 2 to everybody who has one there.
Okay. I don't really want to do that right now, do I?
I think it's funny how we were told not to let TK win. We'll do our best.
Uh,
I will have 0 points, no matter what.
Hey, you made the game. You could give yourself as many points as you want.
I'm gonna bump you again.
Throw this guy way out here.
Yeah,
60 points.
get out. Bumping you, Evan.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Teamwork, making the dream work back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear the song.
What?
Yeah, he's gonna take the move back now.
Okay, so if I build this development, it costs me how does that work again?
Talking about the bottom one here.
Yeah.
So it would be 5, and you can spend money or
Okay.
fuel.
All right. So they don't get any cheaper as you're buying them as they go away. It just helps you get your expert.
Yeah, and then your next column will actually be more expensive. So they get more expensive the farther right you build.
Okay. So I'm gonna do that. I will spend. I'm not really sure what to do. I'll just spend the money. And I will put it. That's based on that. Okay. We'll go there. And then I can do another one of something.
Yep, you get one more action, and you can pretty much choose from any of these here.
I could also do these ones, right?
So it's only to your adjacent location from where your worker's at.
Oh, and
So
there.
at most you have a choice of 6. Yep.
Yeah, I was gapping. All right. And this one is 3 different, which I don't think I have space. Do I have space for 3? No. Suboptimal. I think I might. So extra blueprint. When you're getting a blueprint, you take 2. Where's the blueprints? This is the blueprint. So you take 2, so you would take 3 instead of 2, is that right?
Let's see, this one would be.
Additional.
Yes, you'd actually be getting 5. Yeah.
We would do 5. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Okay.
Also, I think I forgot to import the updated Unicards. Some of my icons are wrong. I will make a note of that.
That refers to the.
Yeah, I wrote that down as a note. I was going to say something, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't seem right.
Okay. And then this one up here, the immaculate schematic, one of the what is that again?
Yeah, so one of the segments you build into your shuttle will
Yeah.
be free if it adds a new icon, which is great now because you don't have any segments in your shuttle. So you could build the first one you put in for free.
Bam, bam.
And these are the segments, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
You started with one, so
Yeah.
you'd save $3 if you did it on yours.
Correct.
Let's see. How many of these cards do I take? I can't remember.
So the action lets you take 2. Yep. And you do have one face down here if you want to throw that into your hand too.
Actually, what is that one? Sorry, guys. 1 sec.
Okay, sure.
Oh. Can you chain cards?
Of course you can.
All right.
And those 2 are nice.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I think I will take. Yeah, that's not great. I'll take that one. That was my second action.
Well, my only choice is to have a meeting.
Ooh, our
Have
first
a
meeting.
So I guess I will take 2 oxygen. And then I perform 1 action next to one of my gears, right?
Correct. Yep. Which I think for you,
Is
the only thing you can't do is this.
which is the only thing I want to do.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. Let's get $4 in a reputation.
You'd have to have a card to do that. Do you have a card?
Oh, I keep forgetting that costs a card.
Nice try.
I do not have a card. Well, now I said it out loud. Let's see. I guess. Yeah, and Heaven does have a meeple.
I got 2.
Oh yeah,
meeps.
I forgot you had the upgraded one.
2 meeps.
I guess. Yeah, I guess I'll take some of these cards so I have some cards. This one is basically worth $4. That's sort of nice. Tries to 2 different cruises. Got it. Oh, I see. It's this icon that is different.
Yeah, that was messed up. Yeah.
Got it.
When we talk segments, the top and the bottom doesn't count as a segment, right?
No.
Correct. Yep. Technical term would be cockpit, engine, and then the middle ones are segments.
So I assume it doesn't work this way, but just for clarity's sake, if I was to take 2 and I took these 2, I couldn't immediately play this and get 4 because I'm currently in a meeting. It's the meeting part happened before I'm doing this action. Is that right?
Yeah. So the first thing you
it,
did was bring all your workers back. Now you're doing the action. Correct.
And so this is done. So I cannot play this until next time I have a meeting. Okay.
Correct.
Um, um, I think I will. I don't love spending a reputation, but I do sort of like gain from that. I will spend the reputation just to try it out, just to be a little wild. I'll take that,
Nice.
and then I will also take the extra blueprints, I guess. And then I guess that's the end of my turn.
Fancy. Well then, let's see how it's gonna go. I, on the other hand, am going to spend this worker here to go ooh, am I gonna do that? Is that what I want to do? Seems like a lie. Seems like a lie, people. Yes, no, that's a lie. It's an absolute lie. I'm gonna go.
That's why your reputation sucks. She's lying all the time.
Doesn't suck. I'm just not quite as well known.
Yeah, your reputation should be going down because of this line.
You move your worker after you've let go.
Yeah,
There we go.
and
All right, that's what I'm
off.
doing. I'm going there. I'm gonna take one of these, obviously. And another one of these, obviously. And then I'll take whoa, hey now. Watch it.
I'm just fixing your board here.
Watch it. Then I'll take yeah, I'll do the other thing. I'll
Oh, I guess for clarity's sake, when this action happens, does this refresh immediately or after you take 2?
After the action.
Got it. So you were performing this action twice, you'd take 2, it would refresh, and then you could take 2 again?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
cool. Whoa. Black golf's pretty cool. Second action. I don't know if I really need that, but maybe I'll do it. Or maybe I'll do that.
I'm just hoping you don't bump me because I have no plan if you bump me. I'm expecting to just take my guy back. So I should be looking at stuff.
No, I'll do the thing. I'll pay $1.
Well, if you take your stuff back, you still have to choose an action to do.
Oh, wait, what's the other?
Yeah.
What's the other way to get money? You can do it here.
Yep. Money. Selling tickets over here gets you money. Getting bumped. Chin cards, funding bonuses. Starting a new shuttle could get you some money. It's on the bottom.
People, you already mentioned the paying developments or whatever.
Mhm.
A
lot of little ways.
I instead of making money, I'm gonna spend money. I'm gonna spend $2 to the bank to use. Oh, it would be to everybody who's there, not just to the one of them.
Correct.
Crapoli Shlomoli. I can't do that then.
We
All
could
right.
go under the table.
In that case, I am going to go ahead and spin the buck. Use my loyalty program to gain 3 of these suckers. And I will gain my 2 food. And that's a goner. And that's my turn.
Wait. Recalling. Or sorry, what is it?
Meeting.
A meeting. I'm having a meeting.
But you can call it whatever you want, Trevor.
Safety meeting.
Except I used my expert, so I didn't have to spend that dollar. That's what I did.
Now that makes a lot more sense.
Okay, so when I have a meeting, I come back and I can take
Yep, you get 2.
2 of these.
And they can be the same or different, whatever you like.
Okay. I think I'll take the $2. I don't know.
Money's always nice.
I like money.
Money.
It's flexible, right? If it doesn't work for you, you turn it into something else.
Yeah.
There you go. And then I got to take an action.
Yeah.
I think I will go do this one and pay 2 to bring this
Hold
one.
on, you can't do that one. So you have to do an action that's adjacent to one of your developments.
Ah, sucky.
Yeah, so I think these down here you can't do because you don't have a development adjacent to them. So you'd have to choose from one of these other ones.
If I wanted to do one, I can do that. Does it cost me anything? No.
Taking 2 blueprints? Nope.
I just take 2 blueprints. And if I wanted to trash everything that's here and get a new one out, what do I do?
So 1 reputation, you can reset as many as you like. So like if you wanted to leave 1, you could, and then just refill the empty spots.
Okay. I think I will try that. This might not be worth it, but I'm doing it anyway. Oh, that's blue. It works even better when I move Sasha.
Yeah, I know, right?
Nice.
Oh, I wanted to leave the top one though.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Top one. This one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Should have declared.
Or is
So would this top one have slid down or?
No, they only slide at the end of the action.
Got it.
Okay, so I can take this guy and put it there, and take this guy and put it there.
Yep.
And then they will refill, and then that's me, I think. Unless I missed something.
Okay. I'll get my reputation and $4.
Whoa. Whoa.
And then this time I will discard a card.
Very
I have a
appropriate.
card. Goes here. And then I will also refresh this and get another reputation.
Seems good. Seems good.
1 of these and a money.
Nice.
So I guess I'll trade out these 4 ones for a 5-er. And that just takes cards from the top of this deck and places them, right?
Yeah, you do kill this one though, so you
Oh, it does
discard
kill that
anything that's
one.
remaining.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Got it. I think that was my turn.
Okay. I'm gonna go Aki. And this only lets me build 2 of these segmentos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Well, my segments cost me 1 less to build.
Look at that.
So freebie.
Nice.
Expert is only once per action, right?
Correct. So like if you're using your expert, you'd save like a total of 3.
Yeah. Cool.
If possible, yeah.
And then I get to pick a shuttle, and I think what's looking pretty good.
You do already have an expert.
Do already have an expert. Yeah, I'll take. Oh, wait a minute, but I might want a different bonus. You gotta look at the bonus. 2 people. Come on, man. Oh, $2. Yeah. Taking that one, even though the points isn't very good.
You'll get there.
But I get $2. 1,
You could get 3 if you want.
2. I do get 3.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
All right.
Yep.
Whoops a doozle.
You can also flip these to reveal the cool art on the other side that doesn't exist yet.
Oh, because I built them. There we go. Look out, everybody. Good things.
Singles
Mhm.
mixer and paintball. That's quite the spaceship.
It's kind of an adventurous space shuttle. It's the adventurer's journey. I don't know. Yeah.
If I were to play this, I need to be in a position to build. I'm assuming I can't just play it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You
you'd
have to
need to
be
be
on the
taking
action.
that action. So placing a worker here or close to it so you could take that action.
Hmm. Okay, so I have to take one of my 2 essentially would be built for free, right?
Exactly. Yep.
All right, so and anyone?
Preferably the most expensive.
Like I can pick the most expensive. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Then
Or you could use it on that one that costs 1, just for fun. See what happens.
I'm not gonna do an Evan.
Come
Um,
on. Come on.
I'm gonna go there. I'm assuming I have to pay 2 for that. Here you go, Sasha. Happy Halloween.
Oh, that's nice.
There you go.
What a gentleman.
So I can pay. I'm gonna do the build action, and I can build 2, I believe.
Yep.
So I can build this. Yeah, let's do that. And that is that, and then these go where?
Oh, just top left. Yeah, discard.
All right.
Goes here. Right.
You're right. Yep, that's right. Nope.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Almost top. Um. And then I guess I'll pay. The only way to get people into your shuttle is with the flight plan. Sorry, that's not what it's called. What's it called?
Yeah, so your cruise here. So yeah, basically 2 ways to get people, right? You can pre-sell them tickets. So now when you launch, you're bringing this guy over. That's just part of the launching process, they'll board. Or you can sell a last minute ticket. So like, for example, if you built a big shuttle that could take 2 people, instead of having to come and take this action again to advertise again, you could do a last minute sale. So that would mean just pull one from over here when you're launching by paying their ad cost. You just don't get like the bonuses for placing them with a pre-sold ticket.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, for you, like if you just wanted to launch a small shuttle with 1 guest, then you totally could.
Do you want to be a loser?
Thing. So I need a second one. I guess I'll do this guy because he's $1. Let's do that. Okay. So sorry, that is 1 action. And then I'm going to do another action, and I think I'm going to bring this guy. Oh, wait, do I have room? I only have room for one guy.
Right. So you'd have to eventually build this if you wanted to, but you could go ahead and advertise to another one if you'd like.
Okay. And if I do launch and I've got two guys here, then the other one just like falls off the gangplank and we don't say anything.
Yeah, so there's a reminder up here and on your player board when you launch. It's if you don't take them, you lose 2 rep and they go to the back of the line.
Oh, 2 rep.
Crap. Ouch.
Don't
Yeah.
do that.
We're sorry, we're overbooked. Can we put you on the
They're
next
like,
flight?
they're
Yeah,
like, I hate you
don't-
all, but also
don't
I'm
do
going to
that.
get back in line.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get something else this time. Okay, I am going to. Ooh.
And
I think
so we can't launch until we've taken one of these spots. Is that true?
correct. You have to schedule a cruise.
Got
Now
it.
you don't have to you don't have to pre-sell tickets because you can do last minute tickets if you want, but
it.
you'd have to schedule a cruise.
I see.
Okay, so if I want to launch, that's a totally different thing. I would be taking my meeple and putting it here, right?
Correct. Instead of on the main board, you would just launch as your full turn.
Right. Okay. So there is no launch on the
Correct.
6 spaces. Okay.
Mhm.
What
Yep.
do I want to do?
Now so when you pay to use this, it does last for your full turn. So like if you wanted to go ahead and build your 3rd segment, or if you wanted to go ahead and get a new shuttle, you could do that without having to pay blue again.
Oh, I could build my 3rd segment right now, but I'm building 1 instead of 2, which is kind of subpar, right?
True. Yeah.
Okay.
But it would get you ready for it.
Yeah, I think well, let me just look at something here. No.
I was gonna ask about having access to the spots after you've paid once, like for your second action, because yeah, that would be pretty brutal if you had to pay like 4 money or something.
Oh, for
like,
each time. Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's full turn.
Okay, that's definitely not as
Okay, this is
rough.
not maybe the best thing to be doing, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm not sure yet. So it is 2 ads to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Do that, and I then get $1 because we're visiting 1 spot, and I get 2 rep or 1 rep. Is it? I get 1 rep because I just put the 1 guy there.
Correct. Yep.
What is your rep doing, Sasha? What
Surging.
is that?
Yeah,
Okay, and a
people
dollar.
love me.
Not what I heard.
Oh.
Exactly. Exactly.
I've been talking in the break room, man. Okay, I think that was 2.
Okay, and then my turn. I think I'm gonna go here and give Trevor 1 money. Here you go.
Whoa! Look
Where you
who's
going?
so fancy.
I'm borrowing your development here.
Isn't it 2?
I don't believe it's 2
Oh,
because I'm.
there. Ah,
So fancy.
that's right. I'm just honored to have him use my development.
Exactly.
Oh, Sasha's gonna use.
Oh,
Oh,
it's not Evan.
Let's cut him a deal.
I'll spend. I think I'm gonna spend 4 for putting a food. Or actually, I have to spend 5. Never mind. 5 money and that 1 food to put this gear into gear. Let's see.
That is not an appropriate placement.
That's a good point.
It's fine.
I think I'll put this here and get another rope.
You do need them.
Oh my goodness.
And then I will hire this buddy, but play this card, so it costs nothing.
What?
Free buddy.
You ever thought about not doing whatever you just did?
And then when he drops down there, I get to do a thing.
Yep.
And the thing I will do is, I will get a food back, I guess. That's my turn.
Well, on my turn, I think my option is recall my work.
That it
Good
is.
option.
Pretty sure that's the option. Nobody bumped me like some jerks. But I will.
You had a 50% chance too.
I know,
You got
right?
you got bumped several times. I haven't been bumped yet.
Hey, last time I was giving you all the gravy from the game.
Gravy.
Okay, I'll take $3.
Nobody-
Okay, done.
Oh, you did get your one action.
Oh, and I get my
Adjacent to
one
development.
action, and I only have
So I
this
think for
one.
you, yeah, one of these.
Let's I could ditch. Don't really need any of that.
Yeah, I think because you can't schedule a cruise. You could spend some ads to get some money in rep if you wanted, but those are pretty expensive guests.
So
You could drop your card for some money in
when you
rep.
do that, are you saying that you can place them on places that don't have a tutor consultant?
Yeah, you can place them anywhere. So the action
Oh,
just
got
says
it.
choose one cruise and place one or two guests there, and it can be
Got it.
yours, anybody's, or nobody's. Yeah.
Yeah, they sort of feel connected, which is the only reason that I thought that it might
Yeah,
be.
so typically you will. So typically you will do these together,
Mhm.
but these are individual tiles. Like this is the setup for your first game, but
Got
normally
it.
you mix these tiles up, so they're normally not together usually.
Oh, I see.
So you often do them on different turns.
I see. Okay.
I'll I think I will. I don't want to do anything else. I think I'm just done. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
Trevor.
Done.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
I can use this just for the fuel, right?
Yeah.
You can, yep.
Or oh, I do have two. This is two. Never mind.
Yep.
I thought I had one less than I did for some reason. Okay, I think I'm gonna launch.
So just as a reminder, if you launch now, you will lose 2 rep because you have 2 people. You can only take 1.
Oh right, I didn't build out the right. I have the.
But you totally can.
That's right.
But
No,
but I would definitely try to build that segment if you want to take that person.
I knew there was something I was trying to hold in my head while I was listening to Evan Wine.
And this is like if you're at 0 and you drop down on your reputation, you lose 1 point per drop, right?
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So I want to. I guess I want to build. It is open. Yes, I could. And the max I can do is 3 segments.
Correct. However, like if you wanted for your first action, you could go ahead and take a new shuttle.
Okay.
And then you could build 1 into each of your shuttles if you were able to.
Right. Okay. I guess I should look further ahead than just one turn, so why not? So shuttles. Or wait a minute. I don't want to build a shuttle. I want to. Oh wait, I want
Also,
cards.
I forgot to update these engines. Good grief.
No, I don't want cards.
Update.
If I take a shuttle, and then I would have to get. Okay. I will. Should I do it suboptimally?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there any point in launch? Like, is there anything special for launching first? Probably not.
Launching first in this game, so I mean, it might put you closer to visiting 2 different destinations with upgrades,
Right.
and it gets a cube out on the track quicker. And the sooner you launch, the sooner you can upgrade one of these things, which might give you a slight advantage. So there's definitely some benefits to launching quickly.
Okay, so what I could do is I could build this, and then I can't launch anyway. Okay. Um, 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 um. So do I take? Should I buy a shuttle or should I buy 2 more cards?
I would probably get a shuttle,
That makes more
maybe
sense.
because you get a bonus that's on the engine, so you could get the other resources you need because you will need 1 more oxygen. So
Where
you
to
could choose a.
play right here? So
Because
it's
you'll have 3 segments.
food per person. Okay, yeah, I didn't look at that. Food per person, oxygen times segment, and the amount.
So I think you're good on everything else except for oxygen. So as long as you took a shuttle that had at least a resource in it,
Right.
like one of these, because this will give you 3 points for every 2 developments you built. This one's 3 points for every shuttle you have that has at least 2 segments in it. So either one of those.
So this is referring to my other shuttles.
So just be all your shuttles. Yep, for each shuttle you have that has at least 2 or more segments in it. Yep.
Okay, and this is add. What's the green?
That one is 2 points for every cube you have on the progress track.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
sorry. The bonus is adds. That needs to be updated. They used to be green. Now they're purple.
Oh, okay. So I get add, I get $1, and I get a resource if I take that one.
Correct.
All these options can give resources, right? Because yeah.
Yep. Because this one you could get 2 resources from your funding. Nice. Yep. So you get an add, resource, and a money.
All right. Money,
2
add,
actions? Or
I think for second action he's just going to build. Right?
oh, got it.
is going to be this one, obviously. And then, yeah, second action was going to be a build. Who do I want? Let's come out. So as soon as I launch, this other one will fill again. Is that right?
It might. It depends on what new one comes out because the new one will scoot the matching ones forward. So if a new one comes out that has orange on it, these orange ones will scoot forward.
Okay. Let's do. That one's cheap. That one's. So to know that it's essentially you need 3 segments to put 2 guys into a shuttle. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. So you could build the one that you already have beside your player board and then one from over here into a new shuttle.
But you have to have a good amount of money. I don't think you have the money to do that, right? Or right?
He has ways to do it.
Oh, okay. Secret ways. Oh, he has a card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just taking 2 cards, right?
Yeah, so you're you'll build one that you already have by your player board, and then you'll build one directly from here. You just have to pay the additional cost beside it. So like if you want something cheap, you could do.
Oh, I see. That's what we're talking about. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. It's like this one would cost 4 total and a rep. This one would cost 4 total and a rep, as with this one. So any of those are your cheapest options.
Okay, I think I'll take this one.
Double build.
Yep.
And that costs me. It's 3.
Well, total of 4 because of the 1 cost over here.
Yeah, and then this reduces on both by 2.
Oh, nice.
So that one will cost 2 and a rep, and this one will cost 1. So I think you have to pay 3 total and a reputation.
No, not the reputation.
No, now you're as unpopular as me.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where I put it.
No, that's fine. Very nice.
Flip them to show that they're built.
Okay. Oh yeah. Flip that one. I think so.
Okay. I'll go here. And so my expert makes the gears cost less money, right? If I'm spending money on them.
Yep. So they'll just be reduced by 1. So if you
Yeah.
build one that costs 5, it'll instead cost 4.
But if I was to build 2, not that I'm saying I would, since each one is a separate action, it would cost reduced by 1 twice, right?
Correct.
Got it.
Each action.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I don't have enough to do 2 as much as I'd like to. Yeah, I'm gonna start by doing a gear. I'll spend 2 blood, aka fuel. That's what I thought it was at first glance.
Oh yeah. No, we've definitely gone through all that.
1, 2. I have to pay 5, so I pay 2 more. So I'm gonna spend 2 money. To place this gear, I guess here. Get a reputation.
Yep. What about that rep?
I think. Actually, I lied. I'm putting it here. And then I will spend no money, right? Because now that I've placed that, I can do stuff over here. Okay. We'll take 2 cards. We'll take. I actually didn't look at these first. Spend 1 instead of resource.
Trevor, are you looking at my my ship pieces over here?
No, I'm checking my battery. It's doing weird things.
I see your little hand on my board game cafe, and I'm like, get out of here.
I'll go back over to my side.
It's my board game cafe, man.
Okay.
Is there anybody
So,
in the comments? We haven't heard from the comments.
There's been a few people dropping in saying hi.
so what this one is saying that when I do the refresh action, I can take a card first and then do the refill action.
Yep, and you get all the bonuses no matter how many cards
Oh,
are still
got
there.
it. Okay. Interesting.
Always,
I'll take strategic relationship and productive meeting.
fancy.
And so at the end of my turn, do I do this?
You sure do. You've built 5 developments.
I just place that there. And this goes up by 1, or?
Yep.
Got it.
Correct.
I'm waiting till it hits 7.
I think that's the end of my turn.
Nice.
And I'm gonna go to the bathroom really quick. So.
What's this company goal again?
I'm gonna join you.
That one is sets of icons, so 2 of each icon in segments you built.
2 of each. Okay. Cool. We're not doing that anytime soon. Girl. Let's go here. And or maybe I'll just be nice. Huh? No, I will not be nice. I will not be nice. I'll go here and take.
Slide this down. Nope.
This one. And distillery, obviously. My people are thirsty.
What did I miss?
I'm giving you $2.
Ooh. I accept.
Son of a gun.
Don't
Now,
pretend.
does my expert reduce my giving him?
No.
No, it's just for actions.
Come on, man. Ridiculous. All right.
What'd you do, dude?
I'm doing this action here. So that cost me -1 for my fancy worker, -1 for my fancy technology. That cost me $2 to place. And my second one, flip, is going to be this one. Now, does my fancy man reduce this cost too, or no? Just once for the action?
Just for the action, yeah. So just 1 for your tech.
So it would cost 2, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of money. So that's that, but I did succeed in fulfilling a company goal.
You did, yeah.
So I'll move my little cube right up there. All right. Yep.
Okay. See. All right. I'm recalling.
What do you recall?
I recall.
Okay, so I take. What do I want to take? I think I'll take a. I think I'm gonna be add and dollar. I don't know. Close enough. And then, actually, no. I'm gonna take 2 ads.
Whoa.
And then I need to do something.
Mhm.
Mm,
Mhm.
I guess I could take 2 cards. I don't have the money to do that. It's over here. Mm. Yeah, I'll just take these 2 guys. How much are they? Oh, they're pricey. Oh well, let's do it anyway. I think.
Oh, did I grab the wrong cube? There we go.
Oh, yeah. Good catch.
And these slide down.
Yep. I'll get them for you.
Turn.
Yep.
I will also recall my past meetings. 3 things. I will get 3 3 fuel. I think, or I guess 2 fuel and a food. Wait, I have to pay. Oh no, that one doesn't cost less food. So what's the point of the neutral one being here?
So you can pay to use it just like you pay to use stuff
Got it.
in the network.
Interesting. So with this one, I could potentially pay 0 to get the 1 cost reduction if I was up there.
Correct. Yep. Or for you right now, it does make sense because you could pay 1 to save 2.
Yeah.
You know.
Cool. Got it.
So you can pay to use any these at any time. You don't have to be adjacent.
Correct. Yeah, they just work just like in the network. It's just you can always pay to use other people's developments.
Okay.
And your cost is based on your rep.
Guess I'll gain an extra fuel then. Right. Auction is equal to number of cabins. No. Okay. So those were my 3 takesy backsies. And then I will how crazy do I want to go on that? Let's okay, got it. I think I understand. So technology, is that just technology is any
Yes.
of the gears. This one is, you still have to be adjacent to the spot with your placement.
So technology, these are technologies.
Oh, those specifically, not okay, got it.
Mhm.
These are developments, got it. These are technologies. Okay.
Correct. Yep.
Interesting. Well, let's see.
The rest of that card, it says game +1 for each technology on that or sorry, for each gear on that technology. Does that mean your gear or for any gear on that technology?
So, I mean, you could do that, but it's usually used for a technology you don't have a gear on, right? Because you don't have access to it. So this is giving you access to it. So you usually wouldn't play it on a technology that you already have a gear on because it doesn't really do much.
Okay. Well. Dang.
Okay.
Sort of want to do that. Maybe I will do that instead. Yeah, maybe I'm just gonna keep it simple, and I'm developers. Gonna develop again. I'll spend 2 fuel, and I have to spend 4 money. And I get to place this development right here, get a reputation. And I think that's the end of my turn.
I am launching a dang shuttle.
Holy cannoli.
Holy cannoli.
This sun is going to space.
Whoa. So adventurous. Let me see. So,
Wait.
I put the thing on. I move my guy back up. I put my workers on the thing. If I don't have a worker, I lose a bunch of stuff. If I can't place the worker, but I can. Okay. And then he moves up here. I put a cube on the cube spot. Okay. And then he moves up here, and I spend all my money. So it costs me 3 food. 1, 2, 3. It costs me 3 of these. 1, 2. Oh no, I don't have it. I must lose a reputation to get the thing that I needed.
Yep.
And then it cost me 2 fuel. Because that's the cost up here.
Yep.
And then I do this. And I flip this thing, which gets me $1 per. Now, is that just in this shuttle or anywhere?
Anywhere.
So I've got 4 of those.
Yep.
Anywhere built. Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
So I got 4 of those. So that gives me $4 right now.
Points, but yes.
That's what I meant by bucks.
Whoa.
Oh, hey now.
Moving on the VP track.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, people. Well, you're developing. I'm actually sending people to space. Okay.
Hey, at least I have a good reputation.
Then I do this. It gets
I don't
me
know
this.
how you're like an evil developer.
Does,
So,
does this, and then he goes.
hey, I have a comedy club.
Then he goes up here.
Wonderful. A perfectly executed launch. Now I'll
And
show you
bam.
guys how the new cruise comes out.
Yep.
So new cruise comes out here,
Snooze cruise.
and we do what this says. Oh, this is crazy.
Whoa.
Okay, so this says move all the people down who match the icons. Yeah, so we're going to scoot everybody down. So that's step one. Step two is we're going to add guests that are equal to the number that we're just launched with. So the same number stays in the system, but they match the new one, and we just go left to right. So you launch with 2, so we add 2, so we add a purple and a teal to the back.
So I don't mean to disrupt anything, but I'm just curious if there were no people here and people here, would they move down to this spot, or
No,
do they
just
all
move
only move one space? Got it.
Yep, just one. Yep.
Is
That's
that
the big one.
every space? Is that the same system?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do the same thing. You just move the ones down that match and add new ones that are equal to the ones that were launched with, just going left to right on the new tile.
5 fuel.
Mhm.
Wow.
It's a great way to get money if you want to advertise to it.
It's a long trip.
It is.
Is it me?
Yeah.
It is to you.
There. Well, just to copy Evan again. Okay, so I need to bring my
Delicious.
my peeps down, and this comes down.
I'll get you another one for you.
Thank you. I was zoomed out. I didn't want to lasso the whole board. Okay, so we put that on the nose cone, and then we put the people on, and then we put, what does this one mean? For everyone I have an ad for, I put on? Is that what that means?
So let's see. First icon, cruise tile, and then you already did this. The one in the top right is putting your cruise consultant back up at the top
Oh,
on
okay.
the marketing board.
Gotcha. My launch is going to blow up on the launch pad, Evan. A perfectly executed launch.
Play the cube. QB.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at this game.
Oh yeah, you can play it now if it gets you $4.
Okay. Do I have any? Sure. Take 5. And then back to my launch. Okay, so now that just means, what does the X mean?
That's if you wanted to get a worker, or sorry, a passenger or a guest from here that you didn't put into these spots.
Okay. It would cost you 2 reputation plus the cost of the.
Well, you
what
wouldn't
that
get
means
the
is
bonus.
that's saying if you can't take, so if you can't put a person into a cabin,
Gotcha.
you lose 2 rep. Yeah.
Sorry, I misheard that.
No worries.
Where does it tell you about the bringing guests last minute?
So guest last minute, that's just like rulebook player aid stuff. I don't think there's an icon on there for it yet. But that's just, you just pay the ad cost.
Got it.
So cube goes on. I'm assuming this happens at the end of the round, or does it happen immediately?
So we'll do this at the end of your turn.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then I go up and I'm going to pay. So I owe 2 food plus 1. So
Correct. Yep, for your pilot. You gotta feed all your people.
Oh, right. Okay. He doesn't need to eat. I'm gonna pay for each segment. 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna pay the fuel cost, which is on top of the card, is 2. And then gonna move up and do, is this the points I'm gonna get from launching?
Yep.
Okay. So I take one, and
So
then
you'll get 4 points. You get 1 point per segment that's built.
oh,
You have 4 built segments.
I'm right on top of you,
I'll be all right.
squishing your face.
I squish you.
Okay.
Then you also flip it over, since this is the first time you've launched it.
I don't get it. And then this one, I do something with the base, evidently. I take something from here, right? And put it there. Is that what I do?
Yep. So you'll take the token that you flipped.
Oh, okay. It has to be a flip token to do it.
Correct.
Okay. And then he's gonna go sit in the cockpit. I think that's what he does.
Very nice. Yep. And I'll add a new cruise for us here.
All right, I got liftoff, but it was a slow process, Evan.
It was great. It was successful. That's all that matters.
Oh, did that orange one not come down here?
No, because this is the new one. It just
I
has teal
see.
on it.
Oh, just a teal. Yeah, it was sort of funny having that be the first one because
Yeah,
they all
it moved everybody. Yeah.
Got it.
Cool. Sasha.
Okay.
And if it's okay with you guys, I think what we'll do is after Sasha, you finish your turn, we'll play 2 more rounds. That way we can just see a day in space and see a destination.
Yeah.
And just, work through that so you guys can see that. And then, oh yes, we do need to do that. But yeah, after your turn, we'll do 2 more rounds and then we can jump into feedback. So yeah, so now we'll do the scoring here. So you do the number of your wings visible times the number of your cubes in this section, and the player with the most rep is considered to have an extra cube. So blue has 1, 2 times 1, 2. So blue gets 4 points. And yellow has 2 cubes times 2 wings for 4 points. And pink has 1 cube times 1 wing for 1 point. Very nice.
Pajama.
And then it's my turn.
Yes.
Because that's all that happened. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Let us I guess I will try money at the moment. Sort of expensive. Let's go. I just want to remember what all happens on this trip that everyone's going to be doing. So the open space gives what again? Oh, I mean, I could
Yeah, so for day in space, for each guest, you get their bonus times the number of their icons. So like in Trevor's case here, the purple's bonus is orange. The purple's bonus is a resource.
Got it.
And so each guest is going to give Trevor 3 resources. So when Trevor gets to stay in space, he's going to get 6 resources.
Got it.
Because they love his shuttle.
Yes.
It doesn't matter adjacency anymore.
Nope, you don't touch them. You don't do anything. You just look and get.
Okay.
Sorry, wait. Tell me again how much. How much does Trevor get?
So for each guest, you get the
3?
bonus for each icon. So
So
he's going to get 6 bonuses.
6 resources.
Correct.
Wow.
A lot of resources.
Where in Evan's case, he's going to get a mix of some stuff.
Let's go. I guess it should eventually send some people to space. So I could probably set up for that.
Yeah, like in your case here, like going after this massive one would be pretty easy. Which
You
would
could
be a
just show
huge
him a film.
payoff.
You don't have to take him into space, Sasha. You can just show him a film. Like, just tell him they went to the moon.
Okay. I think I will go. Here. And put my computer. I will go there. Not because you said so. No. And then my immediate bonus. Oh, this is develop at a 2 cost reduction.
No, it's just you pay 2, you fill the development.
Oh.
So for you, it would be pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Getting the best bang for your buck on that one.
Which one do I want to develop though? I guess I already did this dude, so it doesn't really.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be able to hold the 5 fuel that one takes, you
Yeah.
could.
But like I have the fuel reduction, so like.
Oh, true. Yeah, so for you, it doesn't super matter.
But yeah, I don't think any of them really matter for me at this moment. So I guess I will put this. Here.
I missed that, Sasha. Were you using a technology card or something?
I was flipping this tile over when I placed my.
Oh, gotcha.
And this tile let me build a development for 2 money. And I can't spend a resource for that, right? I couldn't spend 2 of my auction to do that, right? It was just spend 2 money.
Right. That was just 2 money.
Yeah. Okay. So that was my first thing. I think my second thing is going to be taking this. Oop, not that ship. This ship.
That's a good one.
Seeing as I have been developing. And so then I get 2 resources and a money. And I think that's my turn.
Wowza. Oh, all right. So, first thing that happens is this guy goes to outer space.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna get 2 blue things. Blue things are these guys. So much advertising. And then I'm gonna get, what's that one? Oh, that's just all it is. Okay. And then I'm gonna get a purple thing. And a purple thing is a resource. I will get a food.
Where did the ads come from?
That was my orange
The
thing.
2 oranges. Because he's in open space, he got to get 2 of
Right.
the orange.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. And that's it for that, right?
That's it.
And then
You did your actual turn.
My actual turn I will give we'll go here. One, two, and three. And then ditch this because nobody needs that much advertising to gain $5. Okay.
Okay, so I do this first, right? So I'm gonna go out into space. Look at the space, everyone. And I'm gonna do the second one here because this is where I am. Is that right?
Yep.
And so for all of the guys that I have advertised, I do that times, what does this mean? Spaceship.
So it's going to be their bonus, which is up on that marketing board,
Yeah.
times the number of the matching icons. So like this guy will give you 3 purple bonuses, and this guy will give you 3 purple bonuses.
Okay. I understood what I was gonna get, but I just didn't know what that little guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna take 6.
6 resources, yeah.
And all right, I'll just take those 2 and 2, and then I get to put this little guy somewhere. Oh wait, do I also flip one of these? No, that's when I build, right? Or that's when I launch. That's right. Never mind. I think I will go there, and I will. That means I can access this one or this one. I'm going to take these 2 cards. And I am going to I'm going to get a refill.
I don't mean to distract Trevor at all, but this is just a question about
Yeah.
So when we are doing the action to put guests to certain spots, can you place them in spots where someone else's cruise consultant is?
Yes.
Okay. And so that
Just to be rude.
that would make it so that if I went on a cruise and I didn't want to take them, then I would lose reputation.
Correct. So it's usually only helpful, right?
Mhm.
Like it's going to save you an action and save you ads if somebody else puts people there. The only downside is like they may put a different color than you want,
Yeah.
which is it's not the end of the world. Like it's still going to be very helpful for you.
Mhm.
But in this case here, right, it might be good for somebody to do that to get a lot of money if they wanted to.
Got it.
But at the end, it's never really necessarily a bad thing. It's because it's very helpful. But if you get the wrong thing, then it kind of balances out. But it's usually more positive than anything.
And just for clarity's sake, getting a lot of money, how do you mean? You get money
Because when you place a guest, you get 1 money per destination. This one
for
has
every
3,
destination, regardless of if it's matching.
yeah, you get the rep if there's
If
one
it's
that
matching.
matches.
Got it. I now see the equal sign. I missed that the first time.
Right. Yep. So you get $6 for that one, which can be pretty good.
Got it.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. Let's do this, I guess. Here, I will send 2 guests to this, and I have to just decide right now which ones I'm gonna send. Blue gives money. Am I gonna get blue stuff here? Maybe a few extra points. Nah, I'm gonna just send. Oh wait. What I really want is purple dudes, but purple dude. I have 1 purple dude and he's way up there.
You should buy.
Not that you necessarily want to do it, but you can take them from the supply by spending 4 ads.
Got it.
Rare occasion, but it is an option if you want it.
Just in case they're not out there in the right, like if there's none of the color you want.
Yeah, like it rarely, like I've done it once or twice when it really makes a difference. Most of the time, it's better to take a non-matching color because like you can still score them at the destination. You just have to pay an extra ad to score them, so it's not a huge deal.
Barely do this. We'll take maybe it's a little bit of a waste. 1, 2. I'll try this and see what happens. Okay, so first I'm going to be doing.
What was I supposed to do this guy? I think I totally forgot to do this guy.
No, I think you did.
No, you
did.
moved him.
You got your bunch of stuff.
I did that first. Okay.
Yeah.
Evan hasn't done his second thing yet. Yeah. Okay. I will place 2 oranges here for free.
Yep.
And my 2 oranges are going to each give me $3, right?
Is that true?
Yep. And a rep.
Why do they each give $3?
Because it doesn't matter what their color is; it's just the number of icons, the number of destination icons on here.
I see.
But I only get 2 reputation.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
1, 2. And then with my new money, this is where my special dudes, my experts cost reduction is going to come in handy. Because I think, and I just want to make sure I have this price right. So this would cost 6 normally, but it costs 1 less because I have that technology, and then it costs 1 less because of my expert. So it cost me 4 essentially, and 1 reputation.
Correct.
And then this one would cost me 3 because of the technology.
Correct.
So 7 total, which is exactly what I have.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
With
I will
you
do
guys
that.
over here, is there ever, sorry to interrupt, is there ever a time where these are doubling up with their signs? So like, and there'd be 2 orange that you'd be visiting?
Nope. There's only one of each kind, just in different configurations. Now there are multiple days in space on some like this one, but as far as like destinations go, you're always just going to go to a single destination once.
And I think I'm gonna place these both into this.
But you'd never double up on the color though. Like you couldn't have
Correct.
2 oranges on as options on a plan. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, so your multiplier here is only ever 1. Like we had it as a column, but he wanted to use a multiplier instead. But it's always just going to be 1. You're just getting a reputation if they have a matching icon.
So.
Oh, so you don't get 2. He doesn't get 2 for putting the 2 guys on. He just gets 1 reputation for putting the 2 guys on.
No, he
I
gets
get
2,
1
but
for
you
each.
do this for each person. Yeah.
Okay.
So I got 3 money and 1 reputation for each one.
Okay. Gotcha.
So my turn, right?
Yep.
I believe so.
Final round.
So I advance to the orange, which is going to give me 1 point for every something.
Matching symbol.
Matching
No.
symbol.
That's a great try. Now you take this token and you place it onto the matching destination.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. And
So he can take any one of those 3 things. Is that right?
Yep. He's gonna basically unlock one of those 3 upgrades.
what are
So
those 3
special
things?
abilities.
So this one is you immediately gain a funding for each cube you have on the progress track, and then ongoing, anytime you place a cube, you get a funding bonus. This is choose any one of these, immediately gain its bonus, and then discard it from the game. And this one increases your shuttle size and capacity to 4s instead of 3s.
Oh, you have big shuttles.
Bam, bam.
Big shuts.
Big shots. And so the top guy here is
Immediate.
grab a thing and place a cube.
So you get a funding bonus for each cube you have on the progress track. And then ongoing, anytime you place a cube on the progress track, you gain a funding bonus.
I see. Okay.
And that being the highest gives you extra cube doesn't apply to that, or does it?
Being the highest. Oh, reputation. No, it's just how many cubes you actually have in the track. Yeah.
Got it.
And bam. Okay.
Yep.
That
so you just choose any one of your.
Just these guys.
Yeah, just for the scoring. Just choose any one of those you want, gain the bonus, and then just discard it.
Okay. I will spend $2 to build. This thing.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, you are about to call a meeting, so might be helpful.
I don't know what I would want to do here, so I'm going to do this. Wow. Okay. So I discard that sucker.
Yep.
And
so that was this guy here.
Uh-huh.
So now you can do this here.
Which is?
Pay ads, score points. So the cost is based on the color.
Okay. Yep.
Like if it matches the orange ones, like your orange guy would cost 1 ad and score 4 points. And then your purple guy would cost 2 ads and score 4 points. So you get 8 points.
Yeah. Good
Moving
Jimmy
on up.
Chow. 15 goes 21.
Nice. That's it for destination.
Okay, and then I have to recall.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's bumping me anymore. 1, 2.
Can you go over that piece where he got?
Hold on, you took your worker from space.
Oh, whoops.
Teleport back.
Get back there,
Yeah.
buddy.
What was your question?
Oh, I was just wondering what the ads, where that came from. I was looking at my board. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, it's just at the top. So if they match the destination you're on, they cost 1 ad. If they don't match, they cost 2. And then you score all the points on that destination.
Okay.
For each of them. So he paid 1 for the orange, 2 for the purple, and scored 4 points each for 8 total.
Oh, wait, I can choose points? This thing?
Choose.
You can, yeah. You can always choose
Oh,
points as a
man.
funding bonus.
Jeez,
Man, especially if you remove that and it's 2 points, ding the heck out of that
I
thing.
did not notice that.
Yeah, that can be a good one.
Okay, so I did that, and then I can do an action. This is my final action. What's an action that gets you points?
Let's see. In your case here, you can build segments. You do have money, so building a segment could. So, like, if you built this guy right here, that would be 2 points.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cute. That's not going to give you anything. That's going to be a +1. Nothing positive. That's net 0. So, I would say, yeah, I think just building a segment.
Yeah, great. I'll choose that. Oh, because I could do this, but none of these are going to get me points, right?
No, because like this will be like a 1 1/3 point for those because
Right,
you add them all up by 3.
And flipping that doesn't give me points.
It's just 1 point. I mean, you will get 1.
Okay.
But 2 would be better.
Yeah.
And if you could afford, you could build 2 segments into the show.
I can, I think. So I could also build this one.
There's cheapies.
Because they're each 1 less.
Oh, yep.
So
Yep, that's definitely what I do. Build 2 segments.
Oh, yep. So I'll build this guy for 1. And this guy for 3. That cost me $4. And a reputation. Who needs it?
I never end the game with more than 0. Can't help myself. It's just free stuff. Okay. I have to use it. Cool. All right. Trevor, now you can advance your person.
So I'm going to the purple planet, which is the planet is this one. And I am going to take, what is that underneath there?
That's your token on your engine.
Okay. Oh, that's an engine thingy. Okay. So my token on my engine goes to,
You'll just take it, put it on one of those 3 there. Yep. I know you won't get to use them, but just for everybody's sake, this one, whenever you launch, you get to take an extra guest and spend 2 rep. So you're just cramming 2 people into 1 cabin. This is anytime you get reputation, you get an extra, and this gives all your workers the expert ability of -1 per action.
When there's multiple destinations, you only have the 1 token to put out. Is it always the first one you hit, or what?
Nope, you can put it on whichever one you want. It's just you have to wait till you get there if it's a later one.
Yeah.
So this one was what again? Not that I'm using.
So that gives all of your workers the expert ability, which is that thing up here. That's anytime you take an action, you save 1 money if you're spending money. Yep, and then you get to score. So your purple people here cost 1 ad each, and they will each give you 4 points. So you could spend 2 ads and get 8 points.
You can only do it once per meeple.
Once per guest, yep.
Okay. Because I got lots of ads.
Yeah, that could be crazy.
All right.
It's gonna be
So
an interesting agenda card, just like trying to convince them to do everything while they're there. Say, oh, you forgot to do this.
oops, what is going
Yeah, that's
on?
what makes those trips with multiple destinations like huge. Right? It costs a lot of fuel, and your worker's gone for a long time, but you could score your guests at every destination, which can be crazy. And it costs a lot of ads, though.
And then I'm guessing probably my best thing is to build.
Yeah, because you're already getting these 5 points from here, and you've got the money. Yeah, I'd build.
Okay.
Because you do have to call a meeting, right? So you have to pull your one person back.
Can I build?
You can't because you're not adjacent.
Dang it.
Yeah, I think in that case, your best bet's just going to be taking resources or drawing cards, just like small points, drawing blueprints. They're all a third of a point.
And nothing out here is just pure points.
The only thing you can do is when you call your worker back, you can take the point funding bonus. That'll give you 1 point.
Right.
But nothing else, because building developments isn't going to help if you're just building one.
Yeah, none of these cards give me anything that I can think of. Okay. I'm not gonna keep looking then. I'm pretty sure you know the game.
I get surprised. Sometimes I give people strategy tips and they're like, yeah, but I could also do this. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Just don't listen to me.
Okay, so I'm gonna take the resources.
I feel like you look at it so much that sometimes just you don't think of things because you've thought of them the same way the whole time.
Right.
What can I do if I take resources? I can only take 2.
Yeah, I think any way you look at it, you're only getting 2 things, right? You could take 2 blueprints, you could take 2 agenda cards, you could take 2 resources, and they're all going to be a third of a point each. So, but you do get to take your one worker back and take a funding bonus point.
Okay. My one worker. Poor little guy. My other guy's in space. So I just take a point, right?
Yeah, you take a point.
All right. Might be the
That's all right. Final turn.
Take it
My
away.
turn. Okay. Let's try and be as crazy as possible.
Good launch if you want. Just
I was thinking about it, but I don't think it'll net me as many points as this.
no.
Okay. So first thing is first, I'm gonna go down 1 to get 1 money.
Okay.
Because I love money. But I'll leave that there just temporarily because I'm going to strategic relationship and spend 3 reputation to gain 9 money.
Wow.
Nice.
1, 2, 3. So I'll have 10 money total. 1, 2. And then I will double develop by spending all of my remaining
Nice.
oxygen and food. Cost me a total of 14. I spend my 10 plus my 4 resources. And double develop. Let's go ahead and develop technology, and I don't really think it matters.
Fancy.
I guess
Nicely done.
here. And those were my 2 actions, I think.
Cool. Well, we can walk through final scoring here.
Yeah.
So if the game ended at this point, everybody would choose 1 remaining stop. So basically, Evan and Trevor, you can return your person home and trigger a point for a funding bonus.
Oh.
So you both can give yourself a point. Yep.
Oh, is that it? He just goes over here.
Yeah, we just come back home and trigger our funding bonus. All right. Next, we add up all leftover stuff. So that's going to be money, resources, ads, agenda cards, blueprints, basically anything you can draw and collect. add them all up, and then divide by 3, round down.
It's 1 point.
So these are 1, 2, 3. So I got
Oh,
9.
plus resources.
Yeah, you got more than that. You have 3 resources, 3 adds of money, agenda card, all that.
Okay, so let's do
Like 3 points for you.
So I think I got 21, which is
You
7.
do have 20. No, you actually have 23. You do count your blueprints. I mean, not that it changes your points, but you still get 7 points.
Okay.
Those blueprints would count. Yep. All right, everybody
Wait,
good
what
there?
did you get,
So then,
Chase, man?
well,
I
he
got
had his
way too
resources
much stuff.
maxed, and
I got
then
way too much stuff.
Action
1,
money.
2, 3,
Oh,
Yeah,
he did just get a bunch of resources
4,
from his
5,
open space.
6. Wow,
yeah,
nice.
23 total. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Next, we would do the funding, or sorry, the progress scoring in this last track. We'll skip over it. Next would be the reputation. So nobody has any points here for reputation. Next are the points on the segments. So this is not the cockpit. This is just all of the segments inside your shuttles.
So it's a point per segment, or
It's just all of the points on them.
oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, having 2 shuttles that haven't launched is gonna hurt.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt you.
So I've got
I
10
just-
points in segments.
It's gonna look like you're doing really good for a second and then really bad.
Yeah.
So are they only in the segments of the ones that launched?
And the ones that you've built. So
Okay.
built, the only ones that don't count are like blueprints that you haven't built.
Okay. So I think I have 8.
Okay. Next is developments. So the rightmost column, that's empty. So it looks like Trevor and Evan both get 5 and Sasha gets 30. All right. And now we'll do our cockpit. So we'll start in back to front here. So we'll start with Trevor. So Trevor, we'll score your cockpits.
Okay.
So this one scores 4, just like it did before. This one scores 3 minus 5, so -2. So you're going to get 2 points total.
Okay.
And then Evan, what you got over here? You got
Gotcha.
I've got 6 minus
6.
5.
Oh.
Yeah, you still score this though. So
Uh-huh.
that's a total of 2 points. 2 points. Yeah. So 6 minus 5 is 1.
Wait,
plus
what
2,
is
so
what
3.
is this scoring?
2 points for every 3 reputation you have. Oh, sorry, I thought you were
Yeah.
pink. You're,
Yeah, there we go.
yeah. Oh, you're right.
I was like,
All
wait
right,
a minute, what am I missing there?
So you get 1 point. Okay. And then
Yes.
I
Sasha.
think I have 14 from these 2, and then minus 10, so plus 4.
Correct.
Oh.
Fancy man.
You did just show him a video.
Going to space is for losers.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very nice. Cool. All right. Well, we can jump into any feedback you got.
Cool. Let's do it. Want to
You
start?
want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, biggest thing about this game for me was just all the feel good. Just always felt like I had a decision and there was something that was I mean, except for my very last play, but that was 1 out of whatever. And, you know, you can always put that on the person at that point, I think. But yeah, it was just feel good. I love the two actions when you place. The launch track was great. The graphic design overall was incredible. I truly felt like a push-pull decision, kind of when I was putting my, making a decision. It was usually not just between 2 things. It was usually between more than that. But so yeah, lots of spots, and they always felt pretty much every spot always felt useful. That I can think of. I don't think I ever got to a point where I was like, oh, this is a nerf spot. On the constructive side, I have very little. It's like you've played this a few times or something. It's weird.
We've tried.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell it's super polished. All I got for constructive was, and I think it was Sasha who mentioned it, which is the fuel icon.
Mhm.
Just intuitively, I wouldn't think that that's fuel. I would think that's water droplet, or like Sasha said, blood. I would think maybe a barrel or maybe something like that to indicate fuel.
Right.
That might just be me though. And then the other thing, I thought these two were too close together. The point and the money symbol.
Okay.
I just would not put it as the same gold, because when I looked at this for most of the game, I thought, oh, I can take money or I can take money. I just went right to the color in the one, and I didn't,
Yeah, very, very similar. Yep.
So I know why um, why you've done that, because you've got the flip side, or you've got the negatives for, and then you want a different color for the ones that are positives. But I would just, and we have a lot of gold on the board. I don't know what color I would use, but I don't think I would use the gold color. I'd be interested to see what the other guys thought of that though, because that's all I got. Very little, which is unlike me to talk for literally like a minute. So awesome job.
I'll take it. No, that's great. Great feedback. Yeah, thank you.
And I should add that we were talking beforehand, and I don't play a lot of heavy games. People that are watching the stream probably clue into that. But it felt like everything wasn't too difficult. The only thing that would probably hold me up is that I have trouble tracking everything from the cards in my hands to the technologies on the board. But even with that, only having 4 technologies out and being able to put your cards out and show them, I didn't find that any more than saying adding an expansion onto King of Tokyo, or having a few different energy cards that you've bought and keeping track of that in front of you. So even that didn't feel overwhelming to me.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool. Sasha?
Yeah. Well, first off, I was really enjoying the game, and I feel a little bummed that we weren't able to keep playing, but that is...
You had such a big late game coming.
Yeah, I had a sort of engine building, ignoring the actual cruise part. But
what were
yeah.
you going to do to keep making points?
Well, essentially, with having like all these technologies, doing cruises, I don't need very many resources to do them.
You could do the big ones. Like this one could have been a huge payoff.
Yeah.
Scoring all the guests at each one. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I was gonna switch after I did all this development. I'd switch to trying to have like 2 cruises going at a time, maybe more. But yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I was definitely got in the flow of the game. I think in general, it's pretty easy to sort of understand what you want to be sort of doing, and it definitely feels like there's plenty of diverging strategic options for like sort of things that you want to do. So I think that all feels good. Lots of the engine building stuff. So there's so many different things that are types of engine building that can feel satisfying to do and be working towards and building up. I'm gonna go through the things that I wrote down, and hopefully they make sense to me now. First thing I said, this was just a question. I could have asked this, but fuel cost is just reiterating the number of stops. Is that true? Like,
No, there's like a math formula involved.
Got it.
Basically,
I
it
guess
costs
this one is 4 stops and has 5 fuel. Yeah,
more destinations cost more fuel.
got it.
Mechanically, they're more valuable because you can score a lot of points, and thematically, it costs more fuel to get up and down from destinations.
Got it.
So that's the reason that's set up that way.
Yeah, I guess before this tile came out, it seemed like fuel cost was just the number of stops, but this
It's
is
pretty
the
close.
first one that broke
yeah.
that. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. There's probably
Got it.
just a handful that break that, but yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and it wasn't any sort of critique or anything. It was just a question. Why? This was just like, this was early on in the teach. I was like, why do we have to get penalized for having ships that don't get launched rather than like getting a bonus for launching the ships? And I sort of get it. Like, I think it's mainly like in players' heads, but the fact that getting these is free, it sort of being a -5 makes it feel like there is a cost, or can.
Yeah, we just didn't
and
want people taking them late game.
yeah,
No intention to launch them. You know, so
that
there has to be a little bit of that. Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah. Cool. And then dropping down only gives one type, but can be multiple of that type. Yeah, I feel like wouldn't be necessarily intuitive to me. That feels a little bit funny to me. Just like, so the way that I understand it, I could get 2 money if I drop from here to here.
Correct.
Okay. Or I guess I could get 2. Yeah. So you can drop down a bunch to get more than one thing, but you can't get different things.
Correct. And you can do it once on your turn. So like, I mean, you can get 1 money this turn, 1 ad next turn if you want. Like, you can kind of do it however you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what about that feels a little bit funny to me. I assume it's been play tested at working different ways, and this was like a way to make it so that you couldn't abuse it too much or something.
Exactly. It actually started out to drop it and get everything you crossed,
Mhm.
but it was too good. We really wanted the tension of like wanting to go up and wanting to spend it, and this feels like the right spot for like what you get, you know.
Yeah, and I totally understand that. Just for like the intuitiveness of what you're doing, it feels a little bit funny. And yeah, it not awful, but definitely something that I could definitely get wrong
Sure.
playing it. And so just making it really clear with examples of how that works, or making it slightly more intuitive in some way, which I don't have the solution for that, with not affecting the balance, which I assume that you've been trying to correct, but I was just a feeling. The shuffle with multiple times symbol. Oh, it's not shuffle. The shuttle with multiple times symbols, multiplication symbols. Someone took it. I think it was Trevor that took it. Yeah. This being like 3 times ships times 2 plus that that was very confusing to me. Looking at it at first. I was like, so do I need to do like order of operation? Like,
Yeah, foil, man. First outside,
Yeah,
inside
it's
Right.
like
last.
Yeah. Right.
so if there's
Exactly.
some other way to sort of represent some part of that, or I don't know
Yeah.
what it would be. It's just like the amount of like math symbols in that icon, it just feels like a little bit much. But
Totally.
I get when you explain what it does, like why all those things exist. Or just
I don't think that second X is necessary.
yeah, something about it. I think could be
Yeah,
simplified to make it.
I can agree with that. Yeah, because it's just shuttle width, not shuttle times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's not like, yeah, you're getting 6 points per shuttle, or something like
It's a
that.
good
Um,
catch there.
um, Tech icon on iconography in the player aid. So there was a shuttle that came up, this one that has this icon here,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't figure out what the symbol was, in because not in the iconography section of the
That's would be
player
a
aid.
great one to add. Yep.
Um,
Add
uh,
tech
I
icon.
I figured it out by turning back pages and then reading this section, because then
You
it
have to like
talks about
reference it.
technology.
Yeah.
But that, yeah, just having an icons would have helped a
Yep.
lot.
Definitely.
Um, and this was another just sort of feeling thing. I think with repeat plays, this wouldn't happen as much. I sort of felt like after Trevor and Evan went on spots here and brought out duders,
Mm-hmm.
I sort of felt like I didn't want to do anything involving this space until one of them launched, so that things got moved down.
That's kind of intentional. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was part of the reason that I like wasn't going towards launching it at all, was just a result of them both doing that
Right.
action right at the beginning,
That makes
which
sense.
I didn't hate, because I was happy with my choices that I was making. I just thought it was an interesting thing, where it yeah, it felt like that option was less of a viable direction to go, which again is not necessarily a bad thing. It just it made this space, and again you were talking about the sort of modularity, these might not be next to each other, but it just made like this space feel completely worthless to me.
Right.
And so I was just like, I only cared about up here, and I like occasionally did stuff here,
Right.
which just felt a little bit. It made my turns pretty easy to decide what I was doing, but I didn't feel pulled towards these spots until after they had launched.
Right.
And I guess sort of tying to this point, obviously you set up the game. I One of my worries, which I love modular, but one of my worries with playing again is the amount of things that are modular, being making it harder to remember how to play after the first time.
Mhm.
Um, and I again, you set it up. I don't know how much of that is sort of there's like a way that you could set up the same time, or if it's like you always
So
randomize it.
let me tell you what we're thinking about doing, and
Uh-huh.
tell me if you think
Yeah.
if you like this kind of thing. So we're planning to do two sides of the board.
Mhm.
We're gonna do because like we want this game to be as accessible as possible, and we know
Mhm.
like it's on the heavy end,
Mhm.
but we know that once you started playing, like it's pretty easy to
Yeah.
grok
Yeah.
thematically. So we want to get those people who are like on the verge of like, I don't know if I want to play
Mhm.
it. So we think this will help a little bit, is removing as much setup as possible for your first
Mhm.
game.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have a first game side of the board and just a regular advanced side of the board. And of course, you could always play with the first side if you want. But like this company goal tile will be printed, the technologies will be printed, the expert worker will be printed. And I think there may have been another thing or two. But basically, just a lot of that modular stuff. We're just going to say, because we originally were going to do, okay, for your first game, we recommend doing all of this.
Mhm.
And we're like, if we're going to do that, just go and print it. Like, save people 30
Yeah.
minutes of setup time and, And so, like, do you feel like that would help?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense, and that is close to what I would suggest. That is definitely makes a lot of sense to me, because I I absolutely like the people that are gonna be playing this 10 plus times, in like a couple months or something. They're happy to have all those modular things to make each game like
Right.
super different. Eh, I guess I say that there still will be people that play it a bunch of times that I think will be happy to just have the things be static, and then they just sort of
Totally.
develop their meta around that.
Mhm.
Yep.
And that's fun for them, and that's fantastic. But yeah,
Right.
obviously there's plenty of heavy gamers that love all the sort of modular, like every game's going to be played completely different because all these things can be in completely different spots or whatever. But
Exactly.
yeah, that is definitely
We just
can
wanted to kind
be.
of cater to both
Yeah,
as much as we could, you know?
no, that makes total sense. I agree. And whenever games can utilize the other side of the board for something that is useful, uh, I I applaud that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that is everything that I have written down. But overall, just sort of coming back, I did really enjoy the play. It definitely has a really good flow to it, and the different sort of directions that you can sort of go all felt relatively intuitive. Oh, I guess there was one thing that I just realized I did not write down
Yeah.
that I meant to write down. Um, in our short play, which this could definitely change based on a longer play, this action felt a little bit weird. Um, I I obviously took advantage of it twice, and it felt great. Um, but I did forget about discarding a card twice, and I don't like iconography wise. I can read that and I understand it. It's not like the
Right.
iconography is confusing.
Yeah.
It's just like uh, this is discarding one of these cards is not like doesn't feel like a normal cost, and so I just wasn't like thinking about the fact that I would need to have one in order to do this. I was just thinking like, oh, this is getting low. I want to do this. And yeah, and again, this is just sort of a feeling slash back of the brain thing. It felt a little bit funny. And did anyone else do this, or was it just me? I think one
I
other
did it
person did
once.
this. Yeah.
Didn't.
It felt
Sorry.
really good for me to get this money, this huge influx of money early on. Um, but it me forgetting this twice and then it feeling like it got a bit stale after the three went up to the top. I just worry about that. And again, this action would probably be taken more or may be taken more if we played a longer game. But I felt like I had a setup where I once I started launching things, I was going to be getting um, resources, uh, and so I didn't feel like I was going to need to take this action again.
Right.
But I don't know. So yeah, just that sort of final um, constructive criticism is this action did feel a little bit funny to me. Not that it felt bad to do, but just forgetting to pay that cost. I
Right.
don't know why I would forget, but I was forgetting. And then
Right.
also it feeling like, okay, now I don't know if I'm ever going to take this action again. Um, but again, the us ending early, that definitely could change. Um, so back to the sort of end, I did really enjoy the game. I do want to play a full game still. And thanks for teaching.
Yeah. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Evan.
Yeah, I was feeling the same way about this action, by the way. Which just feels weird to do that. Not that it's hard or anything. Just feels weird. Um, but I understand that you need more places to give yourself reputation, and if you're going to give yourself $5 and a reputation, then you need to, spend something. Like, I get it, but it does feel a little weird. At the beginning, you said that money was a little less valuable than resources.
I think I might have said that.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
So I
that
was
was
like,
my impression.
I don't think that's true.
It's
That
not true.
that was my impression. Like initially, I ended up almost always having lots of money, and so, but I saw you guys sort of having
Yeah.
low amounts of money, not having good ways of getting money, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I made a good choice getting a bunch of money early.
Yeah. I think money actually, or at least it felt more difficult to get than resources. I mean, like if this spot was take $3 instead of 3 resources, I would have been all over it. Because you can't fill up on money, but you do have a limited capacity for resources. I felt the same way about this one, which is neither awesome nor horrible. But you've probably, if you allow people to continue to move their consultant around and flip these, um, is the problem just that they do all of the big bonuses up front and that's just too good, or
So we always just want them to have one scheduled.
uh
Um, and yeah, it's a timing thing, right? Like if you schedule something early, like that can be very helpful because you can get a big bonus and secure something you want, but then later realize that's not the one you wanted. Just, you shouldn't have scheduled early, right? Like maybe wait until you're ready to launch and schedule the one that you want to launch so you don't have that long time frame, right? So we want that timing to be in there. And yeah, we just want people to schedule one and launch one. So it's always been like that.
rather than being able to update which one you have scheduled.
Yeah, there's no reason to need to do that. Just, that's one of those play better things, right? Like
Right.
choose which one you want when you want it, or wait
Mhm.
until you know exactly which one you want.
Okay. Yeah, I think, for people that like heavier games, that probably wouldn't bug them, but it definitely, I was like, well,
And that's why we like what we started the game with certain tiles. We start with small
yeah,
ones.
yeah,
It's like you don't lock yourself into a big one that you realize you can't do later.
right.
And so we try to avoid somebody getting into something they don't want, at least for your
Yeah,
first game.
yeah. Yeah, I could see that. For me as a player, like definitely that's that type of gating and locking in this can lead to some pretty bad first plays. Um like Anachrony is a good example. I had a really bad first play. Just where you guess the wrong number of exosuits and then you're like, well, I can't do the thing I was going to do this turn. That was my big thing, you
Yeah.
know. Because I didn't math it all out and make everybody wait. Um, but obviously, Anachrony did great, and people don't seem to mind that. So you're probably doing fine.
Yeah, and
Um,
like I would say, a majority of the time, most people aren't scheduling a cruise on their first time like you did.
yeah,
Like, I mean, sure, it's going to happen. People are going to do it, but most people
yeah,
either go after developments or start working on their shuttle.
yeah.
So like, I've never had a case of somebody wanting to change a scheduled, flight
Interesting.
or whatever.
I definitely just ran into issues where like this action turns off.
Right.
Which maybe is fine for me. Yeah. Anyway, I said what I need to say about that. Let's see. Blueprint, flipping over to the completed side. Awesome. Just visually, that's neat. Um,
Cool.
once a turn, dropping the thing. Same thing with the track that Sasha was talking about. It felt that feels a little weird, but if that's what needs to be to have it work how you want it to work, then that's what it needs to be. Still initially, um, there is like just a lot of information on the get go, and I still wasn't quite sure what to do. at the beginning, even though
Mm,
I've played this several times. I think it's just been long enough between each of my plays where I'm like, wait, what do I do again?
right.
But in a game of this weight, it's gonna have that, so it's not really a big deal. Um, but but yeah, a little bit of like parsing out like, and you probably have this in the because you kept mentioning there was like a little like, what do I do?
There's
Um,
a player aid that's
yeah,
like
yeah,
first tips. Do you want to launch? Do you want to build developments?
right,
Here's how you do it. Yeah.
right, yeah. So I think you've already taken care of that.
Mm.
I just didn't look at it, obviously.
That's all right. That's
Um,
okay.
um, reputation and dollar bonus on the flights. What was I talking about? Was that over here?
Hmm.
That is money and reputation grouped together. That might be it.
Yeah. Visually, um, it's a lot. I'm wondering if you can, like, I know why you have it next to each and every one's because you don't want to people forget to do it.
Mm.
Um, but visually, it's a whole lot. I'm wondering if there's like one place where you can have like what happens when you bring a guy over. But I'm guessing it used to be that way, and people kept forgetting to do it, which is why you put it next to each place that you would do it.
Correct. That was an end thing. Yeah, we had
Yeah,
it just in one place, and
yeah,
I think he was like, I want it exactly where you can see it every single time.
yeah. And I get that. I get that. For
Yeah.
me, visually, it's a lot.
Right.
And and looking at it, I still would probably mess it up.
Hmm.
Um, if I put a guy there, I get $1 for every amusement type, and then a reputation for every amusement type of the color of the. No, it's not amusement type. Those are stops, right?
Yeah. So that icon, this icon here, is destinations.
Yeah. Okay, and then a star per destination of the color of the guy that you added,
Correct. Yep.
which in any given thing, there's never going to be more than one destination of any given color.
Correct.
Hmm.
Is that
Yeah.
wrong?
It just gain a reputation if
Yeah, we had
it's
it. We had it as a colon, right? Like we had this opposite, right? It was like if it matches, gain a rep. But
Mm-hmm.
Ian flipped it, did the multiplier. I don't know why. I think he just wanted it to be similar.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, as it is right now, there's only one. I mean, there
Yes.
may be more later. So
Right.
I
Expansions or
don't know.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you're leaving it open, which is good, but just it's for my brain, it's a lot visually. I just don't. It's really
right.
hard for me to parse that. Um, no rounds. You have to pull your
No
workers
rounds.
back. I love that in games. Um,
Me too.
two actions. Um, probably once everybody's cooking, and you're doing lots of replays with the same group. That ends up being a great amount of actions um,
Totally. Yep.
in a first play. It's a little slow, but again, for a game of this weight, I don't think it's a big problem.
And that's why we do like on the progress track over here. I didn't for this because we weren't playing the full game anyway.
Yeah,
But for the progress track, these tiles, for your first game, you use the player count lower than you. So like in a 3-player game, you use the 2-player tiles.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it ends a lot quicker,
yeah,
which is nice.
yeah. Reputation, um, and this is probably just a vestige of I've played so many different versions. There, like my brain breaks at a certain level of keeping a bunch of stuff in there. And the reputation track is like that. Well, actually, that's not true. The reputation track and these things,
Mhm.
these suckers, like
Mhm.
trying to track those in my brain. Like I love these ones, but trying to track what's in my brain here and then what I can do here. I think between these two things, that's just like the one extra thing that my brain can't track. But again, game of this
Right.
weight is probably totally fine. My brain is here. This game is here. Just oh yeah. I was like, don't make me confused. Just let me buy the thing. Too easy to get. No, it's not too easy. Resource caps are tough. Yes, that's true. Modular board. Now these are modular, right? Like they end up at different spots.
Mm-hmm. Like here's this one, might be here. Yeah.
Wait, what was that?
That was this space.
Oh, okay, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and it might be paired up with this one,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever.
Oh, is the top and bottom totally randomly paired?
Yeah, there's 12 action tiles.
And they just happen to be like these
Well,
just happen to be
I
paired
think
up together,
these
and
are
these
the
just happen to be
printed
paired up
ones.
together.
Yeah, so this is what's printed for your first game. So
Oh,
this
I
is
see.
the easiest way. So this will be
see.
printed on one side, and the other
Uh-huh.
side won't have them. And so
Uh-huh.
you can mix them up if you want.
Where are they printed? Because it seems like some of the sections of the board are like on the opposite side of where you'd be triggering them.
So that's why he hasn't like tied anything to like specific locations.
Oh, I see.
Right. So like it's more so like this is planning and strategy, this is called
I
headquarters, this
see.
is called manufacturing, this is
Uh-huh.
marketing. So
Yeah.
he's separated them that way when they're mixed up,
Yeah,
you're just kind of relating to it.
I see. Okay. So I was like, wait, what? Why is this over here and they're way over here? Just they're right
Right.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. First game or early games playing a side of the board that doesn't include a bunch of setup and stuff. I think that's freaking awesome.
Cool.
We'll definitely steal that idea because that's a great idea. That's one of my big things. The consultant. We already talked about the consultant. Money. I feel like needs to just be a different color that
Yep.
stands out way more. You're like, I understand why you don't want to go green because you're like, well, this isn't the U.S. This is, space.
Yeah, we're like literally one of our last notes. We're like, is there a reason you don't want it to be green? And he like wrote us this long thing of like, here's why it can't be green. I was like,
Right.
okay.
Right.
Then again, like it may change with art. Like he said,
Right.
some of the colors don't really matter right now because once we do the art, we may have to change the colors anyway.
Yeah.
But that's something we've already brought up to him that we want to make sure pops. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Could be whatever. I don't know. Gold, deep purple. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Transparent.
Silver.
Yeah.
Multi-purpose. Everything on the board does like 87 things.
Isn't it wonderful?
And for the most part, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's like 10% that's just too much for my brain to be like, wait, so then I put this here and it goes there, but that's just the weight of the game, and I think it's very appropriate. Cards refill.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because you've played a few versions that had more that we've pulled out to play in expansions, right? So like one of them was the upgraded locations, right? That flipped over when a certain number of developments got built. There was matching of the segments. You had to match the beds. Do you feel like removing those helps a little bit?
I didn't miss those at all.
Good. That's exactly what we want.
I didn't miss those at all. Because my brain likes simplifying.
Yeah, because those were just things that a lot of players just were like, it's just one thing too many.
Yeah.
And so we pulled out several. Like we didn't want to pull so many that it got to where we didn't love it, but we also wanted to bring it down to where like it was still great for where we wanted it, but then you could add those extra things for the players who do want it.
Yeah, totally. Card refill action bonus. Refill action bonus.
So there's the agenda cards. Refill agenda cards.
Could be. It's entirely possible.
You get a bonus when you refill.
Yeah. I don't know what I was saying there. Okay.
Good thing or bad thing? Indifferent. I don't know.
I don't know. Hard to get money. Yes, I agree. The one thing that did feel a little salty for me was I have this rocket ship. I didn't launch it. I lose 5 points and I gain 0. Sasha has 2 rocket ships he never launched. He gains 14 points and loses 10.
Yep.
It just seems all a bit weird. Have you moved away from what is to me more sense making, where it doesn't score until you have flown it, and then it will do its scoring mechanism?
So like, don't score it at the end of the game,
unless it has been
unless
flown.
you've launched it.
Yeah.
So we did try that.
Yeah.
Instead of losing 5 points,
Right.
it was like it only scores if you've launched it.
Yes.
And the reason we didn't like that was because it really, what's the word? Like, detracted you from wanting to do any kind of shuttle building mid-late game. It was just like, there's no point in trying to start a new shuttle if I don't know if I'm going to be able to launch it. And so it really became like, build a shuttle early game and launch that shuttle several times was just the way to play.
Well,
because like we like, you've got to still have a desire to start and build a shuttle at the end, even if you don't think you can launch it. Like, there still has to be a good payoff for putting in that effort. Otherwise, you've wasted a bunch of time and money and for something that doesn't even matter.
Well, here's the alternative to that, though, is I lost 5 points for having a shuttle that I couldn't launch, which is the opposite of what you were just saying.
Yeah, so you were being weird when you took this one.
Yeah, totally.
You could have.
Right.
So this should have netted you positive points. So usually when you take a shuttle, you're always going to net positive.
Right.
But in your case, you didn't, just because you were trying to take a different shuttle or whatever. So
Yeah.
normally it's not a negative feeling.
Yeah. I mean, totally. A game of this weight, the get good, response is totally normal and fine.
I mean, it's not even get good in this case. Like you said, I'm going to take this one instead of the one that makes sense. So,
Yeah, but it's like the like plus and the minus together. Yeah, it.
Also, something to consider is like, you played like a third to half of the game. So
Sure.
you would have
I
launched
probably
it. Your
would have
reputation would be higher, so it may not.
I probably would
have
have flipped it.
Yeah.
I guess the thing that feels weird about this one, right? Yeah, we did stop everything. The thing that feels weird about this way is on my final turn of the game, I could take this action and grab one of these things that just nets me 12 points or whatever, which maybe people feel like that's awesome. I don't know. But
like you definitely can do that, and that's why we have the -5.
Right.
Is because it reduces it some, so you're not going to cap on it. But it can be a few good points in the last turn, which is nice, but it's not overpowering. And that's the reason that we wanted you to be able to score it. But there's still got to be that balance of, it can't just be like 20 points at the end of the game.
You don't run
it'll
into
get
that.
you. No, because they all max out around 12.
They all max
and
out
so
around 12.
If you've perfected one, the most you would get would be 7. Which is great, but it's not like game changing, because I mean, winning score is 180, 200, so it's not like.
I see. Okay. So it's not like totally weird. Okay.
No.
I guess I just don't like the plus and the minus, but
yeah. And most people usually have 3 shuttles by the end, right? Because you cap at 3.
Yeah.
So like, if you haven't gotten your 3rd yet and you've waited and maybe it works out, like, it's not so bad.
Yeah. So you switched away from it so that you could have a shuttle that you didn't launch that would still net you a few points.
Right. Because it does give you a goal to kind of go after, as opposed to like having secret goals or whatever. They are a good way to kind of give yourself diversifying goals from other people to score points.
Okay. Cards, refill. What the heck was it talking about? I don't know what that is. Something about cards and refilling bonuses.
It's gotta be this. Gotta be this over here. Is there
I
anything
know,
you
but
dislike about this?
I don't think so. I think I like it.
And the bonuses you see,
Yeah.
wipe
No, I
and
don't think that
refill.
was it. It was something
Like
else.
when you are refilling them, discarding the ones that are still there.
Oh, was that
Yeah.
it?
How do y'all feel about that? Because we've gone back and forth.
Because
You could do either one.
that wasn't totally intuitive to me when it happened. I don't hate it. It just wasn't totally intuitive.
The only thing it does is it helps wipe cards that become stale to all players. Like
Mm-hmm.
most of them are pretty multi-use, right? They're still good for resources. You can still ditch them for money. But occasionally you'll come across a card that just based on the way everybody's playing doesn't necessarily fit.
Yeah.
And so it does
Yeah.
help to get them out of the way if,
What's
they sit there.
the thing that was weird about that, this is what I was talking about. The thing that was weird
Nice.
about that, nice, is that if, let's say I take the action, I take these two cards, and then I take the other action and I do the refill, and I'm like, I'm going to discard these.
Yep.
Now it looks like I get 4 bonuses.
So in the player aid, the rule book, you gain the bonuses you see, and then you wipe and refill. That's the process.
Yeah. It's just a place, an opportunity to play wrong.
Sure, right.
You
Because
know
you
what
would
I
take
mean?
the action, go ahead and get rid of them, kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. Like it's one of those things where it's like, towards the end of the game, somebody's flipping through the rule book and they're like, "Oh, dude, when you did this thing, you shouldn't have done this thing," and it's like this big
Right.
retcon, like trying to be like, "Oh, well, I would have had 20 less points because like."
Right.
And it kind of just it kind of tarnishes. Like it's one of those things where like, it's tough to not have. It's tough to have everything make total sense visually on the board and never need to look at a rule book.
Right.
But I think this is one of those cases where it's a likelihood that people will mess that up.
I will definitely keep that in mind as we watch more blind play tests.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever happened.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, maybe not then.
we'll definitely keep it in mind because like we've just started doing some blind play tests and we haven't done a ton, maybe 5 or 6 or 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely something to keep in mind because that's a problem. There's could be a tweak or something you could do to help with it.
Yeah. Yeah. What else? I think that was it. I mean, I'm only saying the things that pop out negatively in my brain. Like, well, actually, I said a couple good things, but, like as I always say, this game's freaking awesome. I think you guys are gonna kill it with this, and I've been so honored and stoked to, be able to see this throughout the course of, design and development.
You're the reason we don't have 7 decks of cards in the game.
Yes, I love it.
Like, it's like the first time we played, we had like so many decks. There's too many. Get rid of these. It's like, okay,
that sounds
sure.
like something I would say.
Yeah.
But
or
yeah,
you're like,
man,
kill the dice. Get rid of the dice.
Get rid of the dice.
Like, okay,
yeah.
You're the reason we got rid of the dice.
Yeah. But it's
great.
so good and it's so awesome, and you guys are so dedicated and such a great part of the design community. I'm so stoked for this game and for you guys, and you're gonna do good things with this, and you deserve it.
Thanks.
That's what I say. Okay, what else? Who's in the chat? Nobody's left. Any other last minute feedbacks from the other two gentlemen?
I just wanted to 2 little things. One, just on that last thing that you were talking about with this. I also felt like it was just like felt a little bit funny. It again, not bad, just a little funny.
So you would prefer to like leave them and just replace the ones that?
I don't know if I would prefer that. Just as far as like remembering how to do it, I could see myself messing it up, or like discarding the cards and being like, oh wait, I gained resources. Like where were they?
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be that big of a problem. I've definitely had bigger problems in other games that I really enjoy. As far as
I
like
will tell
remembering
you
how
the
something works.
the issue that we see,
Hmm.
which ends up correcting itself 99% of the time, is players will gain their bonuses, right? Because that's
Hmm.
what they're excited about, right? When you
Yeah.
take that
Yeah.
action, you don't care about removing it. You care about getting the bonuses. So you take the bonuses and then you don't remove the cards or refill it. Like
Mhm.
like that's the
Just
thing
leave it.
people usually forget, right? But
Mhm.
then they remember it. Like then they're like, oh well, we
Yeah.
got rid of these, put new ones out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But usually people remember it because the thing that could easily be forgotten is the thing that they want the most.
Right.
So
Mhm.
usually people remember it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
totally get it.
I do like that the market wipes when that happens. I like that as
Mhm.
a trigger and as a thing
Okay.
that moves the market. Like I think that's awesome. I think there's just like the way that it happens and
Right.
visually, makes you potentially mess it up.
Right.
Um, the other thing that I was gonna say is, uh, so with the point symbols being blue and gold, I was under the impression that that meant immediate and end of game. Um, but what does it mean? Like some of the point symbols being blue and some of them being gold?
Yep. So the gold ones are during the game. End of the game is blue. The only one that's different is on the cockpit. But N wanted to keep it that way because you score it during the game, and it's denoted that you scored at the end in final scoring. So that's the only ones that are a little different,
So wait,
unless you came up with something that was
do you
we could
you
fix.
score this during the game?
Yeah, when you launch the shuttle, you score it.
Oh,
That's what
got
this
it.
is saying over here.
I
It's just when
see.
you launch it, you score
But
the
then you
points. Yeah.
also score at end of game.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yeah, we asked him, is like, should we like shade it half
Right,
brown,
right,
half
right.
blue?
I
And he was
see.
like, no, just leave it like this. And then at the end, just make sure it's in final scoring. That way it's not confusing during the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like when we were playing, when we first looked at these, I thought they were just in-game scoring, and then when they first launched, they like got them, and I was like, oh shoot, I need to like set myself up so when I launch this gives
Right.
me my points, but it's both, and that was something that
Right.
I think I misunderstood both ways at a certain point, and I didn't realize until just now that it was you get them for both.
Right. Yep.
So
No, that makes sense.
yeah, again, that's just a sort of first play perception thing. Um, yeah, that was all I wanted to add on to what Evan was saying. So,
Cool.
Uh, cool. Trevor, last minutes.
Yeah, no, I didn't have anything really. If the cards in those four cards seemed intuitive to me. But maybe that's because I wasn't looking at I mean, it's very useful to have the icons on the side. But I really wasn't taking anything until I removed the cards and then looked at the bigger icons just because I was probably zoomed out a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So the fact that these are bigger kind of made me want to remove them to be able to see them. But that might be a TTS thing. So maybe if you do find any problems I mean, you said you haven't had any issues with it, but if it did start coming up, maybe you want to make these like bothersome to see. But if somebody really wants to know, they got to lean in a little bit. But really, they're going to want to pull these cards to see what their bonuses are.
Right.
I but I didn't have an issue with that. I do think that I probably would try and make this go off more now that I've played the game. That was the other comment that was kind of thrown out by Sasha and Evan. And I was trying to think like what could you do? Maybe get rid of like the bottom one, but then people would just go ahead and do it from there because they wouldn't gain anything by dropping it. So I think it's fine the way it is. You can just make a lot of money.
And
But
it's one of those things like we often have players who are like, I only took this action twice, or this action felt like I wasn't going to take it a lot. But like you take around 20 turns in the game, and 5 of those are usually launching, right? So you've got 15 turns, 30 actions, and there's only 12 of them. So you're only taking the actions 2 to 3 to 4 times anyway throughout the game. it just feels odd, right? Just that you're only, because like you can only hire 2 experts, you can only take on 2 more shuttles unless you upgrade something. And so just kind of depending on how you're playing, when you take those actions, like some games, yeah, like you may not take an action, but another game you may take it 4 times.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely interesting to see how people play.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Any questions or things that you wanted to get out of this that we didn't quite cover?
I think, yeah, like you hit a lot of interesting and good iconography stuff that I noted that we can tweak to make better. Like, you know, we've gone through a lot of iterations, but it's, you know, I feel like we're always going to find stuff until we just decide to stop, you know,
Yeah,
just like,
totally.
no more.
That's totally true.
So that was very helpful. Like having Trevor play. Trevor, you seem to do great, right? Like, I know you don't play a lot of heavy games, but you seem to pick it up pretty quickly,
Yeah.
which was really cool to see what decisions you would make. Who's not a super heavy game was very like informative. So yeah, no, that was great. Nothing else on my end. Y'all covered it.
I have two people that I don't play co-ops and I don't play heavier games. So if I like your co-op or your heavier game after I've played it, that's a glowing review.
Back of the box right there. Just like
Yeah.
who needs the Dice Tower Seal of
Trevor
Excellence
likes
Trevor
when you
approves.
get the Trevor?
Good.
Yeah.
Trevor heavy game stamp of approval.
Although Sasha's reputation is higher than mine.
Oh yes, that is true.
Oh yeah.
True.
What are your big what are your big takeaways from this particular playtest?
Ooh, let me look at all the notes I took. Differentiation of some iconography, like money, VP, making sure that stuff pops. I love the idea of where was it? I feel like somebody tossed out an idea that was just wonderful. Oh, the just some of the scoring on the cockpits, right? Like those math problems, I think that Sasha brought up, the multiplication. I think that stuff is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff y'all said was very positive, so that was great. Yeah, I think it's just pointing out a few key things that we want to make sure that we monitor in blind playtesting, right? Just things that we make sure that the players don't get hung up on, because we put a ton of work into our rulebook. And the playtests we've had so far have just been like, this rulebook is incredible.
Good.
And so like we know it's still got a long way to go, but like we want to make sure it's, you know, as phenomenal as it can be. Just because we don't want people to have those moments at the end of the game where they're like, oh, or like a year later and they're like, that's how you play? Like we've been playing it a totally different way.
Yeah.
So just making sure those things are good. But yeah, no, it was very informative watching you guys play and make decisions. So
cool.
It was great.
Awesome. Well, obviously you've got a balance issue because Sasha came out ahead, but aside from that, had a great time, and like I said, freaking, it's awesome, man. Super stoked for you guys. Let's say our goodbyes and get the heck out of here. TK, how can people find and support you and follow along with what's going on with Galactic Cruise?
Yeah, so one of the best ways is jumping on our newsletter. It's kensengeekgames.com. You can enter your email. It shoots you an automatic welcome. That's got our Facebook group and Discord. So if you want to jump into our communities, that's a great way to do that. The game's also up on BGG. And of course, we have our pre-launch page up if you want to click the notify me button on Kickstarter.
Awesome. Trevor, how can people find and support what you're doing?
Probably Facebook group is probably the easiest. Sorry, I didn't do any plug at the beginning here. I was just excited to play. Alcatraz Escape the City, Facebook group, or zungagames.com. Zunga Games will give you all the links, but so will the Facebook group. I believe I've got everything in there, but you can always just drop me a message on Facebook too if you want to play test. Alcatraz Escape the City is a one versus all hidden movement game. So if you're into games like time management and
That's a good one.
Things, it might be one you might. Yeah, totally.
Sasha, how can people find and support what you're working on?
Well, the game that I've put the most amount of time into this last year is a game called Dovecoats, which is about pigeon keeping. And that one is still love, and I'm looking forward to finding someone that wants to pick it up. But we have a Discord server, which is S&E Games, where we can set up playtests and stuff. And then we also have a Facebook group, which is just Devcoats, the board game. And I will be at PAX Unplugged. So if anyone is there, you can
You're there.
find me, and I'll have a couple prototypes with me as well. So always down to chat with people and play games.
Everybody's going to PAX Unplugged, and I'll be at BGG Con, and not PAX Unplugged. So if anybody's going to BGG Con, come hang out and play a board game with me. I'm Evan Halbert. You can find After the Empire and buy like 47 copies if you can find them, and I will get a small percentage of that, and I will thank you very much. And then I have some other board games coming out in another couple of years. Thanks, everybody. I hope y'all learned something from watching this and hearing how people give feedback and receive feedback and move a game forward and end up with something freaking awesome by watching this. And yeah, let's get out of here. Good night, everybody. We
See ya.
are.